Welcome, everybody, to the Velocity Motorsports Championship Tuesday here, and we're at Iowa tonight for the championship for 180 laps tonight. Stage break is going to be at lap 70 tonight, so fuel mileage should be somewhere between 70 and 80 laps, so right around the time frame of the stage break will be probably needing gas, but I would say the guys are going to need tires way more than the gas. But we'll pull up the championship four drivers for tonight's race in the series finale. And it is Ryan Crooks with his 5 wins, average starting position of ninth, average finishing position of ninth as well. Tyler Belanger with 1 win, getting his win last week in the playoffs, average starting position of 11th, average finish position of 11th. Chris Murphy with that 1 win earlier in the playoffs, average starting position 7th, average finish position 11th. Cole Martin, 0 wins, gets into the Final Four championship race without getting a win this season. Average starting position 7th, average finishing position is 7th as well. This is going to be a hot one here, not in temperature-wise, but these guys are probably going to get angry and frustrated with this track in the next-gen car because it is slick out there on track. Guys are complaining already about tires not being good, track temp messing up, the grip and everything. Temperature wise, it's 79 degrees for a track temp, so it shouldn't be that bad. You'd think it would be a little bit more grip in the track, but not here at Iowa. It's not going to work. So we will get our resident Larry McReynolds up into the booth here as Shad's out on track running some laps right now. We'll get his perspective on how this night is going so far. Shad, you're out on track in that number 4 car that you drive in a different league. How is this track feeling, and what do you think tonight's strategy calls are going to be as our resident Larry McReynolds?
Huh. Survive. These cars are an absolute handful to drive here. They're loose on entry, loose on exit, loose through the turns, even when you're not on the gas. I think the key for tonight is just going to be don't push it, be patient on throttle, and try to hang on to it. If guys want to get up there racing hard side by side, let them do it because as you run more laps on these tires, it just gets even more of a handful. And usually I can go to a track and figure it out. I don't know. I mean, there's times where I just rolled through the center and barely even touched the gas, and it just went around. So these drivers are going to have to be really patient, not get too crazy with jumping back on the throttles or entering the turns too deep, and play it safe. And our top 4 guys going for this championship, I think a guy that can, be smart, not drive the car over their head, might find themselves winning that trophy.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a couple different drivers. We'll pull up one of our top 4 championship drivers that are competing tonight. The first one I'm gonna pull up is Cole Martin because he is technically 4th in the playoffs for the championship, but
I think he's
does
qualifying
not
right now.
matter. Yeah, I'm looking to see who's out on track, but I don't see Cole on track. Cole, you got a copy of this? Is Watson Shadowlike in the booth?
Yeah, I got y'all.
All right, buddy. Are you out on track qualifying yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Trying to mess with the setup.
All right. So we wanted to get a hold of you before you did that. So, how are you looking at tonight's race? It's winner go home time for the championship trophy. That top prize for money is up as well. You have 0 wins this season. The track seems to be pretty much just ice out there for everybody. How you had the fastest time in practice? How are you looking at tonight's race?
It's gonna be a really wild race, I say. I have no idea how it's gonna turn out. If it's gonna be a lot of cautions or not. It might be surprising, go green, but I have a feeling we're gonna be doing quite a bit of caution laps, like New Hampshire. So, I've been trying to mess with this setup and get make it where it's not as loose, but I haven't had any luck. So, yeah, I don't. I'm kind of confident. I see the faster than everyone, but I still hate this track. I feel like it's one of my worst tracks on iRacing. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, I can get it done here and take home the trophy.
Shad, any questions for our playoff championship driver?
My question is, you had the speed during practice, but how much was that car on edge? And is that kind of pace something that you can run safely out there to bring that thing home?
It was on edge every lap. I mean, it's hit or miss if it's going to break loose on you. Yeah, I think off of 4, you're going to see the most spins here. 2 ain't too bad. You can pretty much mash it if you wanted to get off the corner, but turn 4 is going to be where you're going to see your spin outs. That's where it's mostly on edge, and on entry too is very bad. So, yeah, I think they're going to have the most spins, and I don't know. I'll see how it goes, but I'm not very confident.
Well, last week we seen you be involved in a couple different incidences. You still worked your way back up. Um, hopefully you can do that again tonight. Hopefully you don't have to. But the way the practice went, it looked like a lot of guys were sliding all over the place. So it doesn't mean that you're going to be the one that spins. You might still get caught up in somebody else's mess. So try to avoid as much as you can. And hopefully we're talking to you at the end of the race as the champion.
Yeah, hopefully I won't be modified this week.
Yeah. Well, we'll send you back down to your WMS teammates and we'll see how this race goes for you.
Thank y'all.
Yep. All right, we'll bring up another driver here, and I want to say it's Chris Murphy, but it looks like he's out on track, and it looks like Tyler B. the Injury's already completed his. I'll bring him up. Tyler B. the Injury, you got a copy of this is Swats and Shadow like in the booth.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right, but Iowa, is it icy out there for you as it looks for everybody else?
Oh no, there's tons of grip. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's sketchy, man. I was just talking to some of the guys, and I was like, "Hey, if you think you're gonna go 100% tonight and win this race or win this championship, you are sadly mistaken. This is gonna be just a battle of who can survive and who can be the smartest with their car tonight. So we'll see how that'll work out."
Shad, any advice for this number 88 that won last week's race to push himself into this Final Four championship?
I have no advice on how to drive this track. My only advice is play it safe.
Yeah, that's definitely the plan. I felt really good in practice. I did some laps this morning and some laps tonight before the session opened up and felt really good. I was able to get a couple 20, 30 lap runs in. It only gets looser and looser as the run goes, but I feel like if I just run about 80, 85%, I'll be okay. We'll see. The biggest thing is going to be avoiding other people's mistakes, in my opinion. So we'll see how hard everybody else pushes. But I actually feel pretty good going into this. I know Cole wasn't too confident. He put down a really fast lap time, but he did not feel steady. Murphy was struggling a lot with getting any more than 8 laps in, and then Crooks never quite found the speed up right until the end. So feeling like our chances are just as good as anybody else's, which is surprising. Didn't think we'd be sitting here. So we're just going to do our best and hope we save a little bit of money on the payouts at the end of the night.
All right, well, I'll send you back down to your group, and good luck in trying to make it through this race and trying to grab that trophy.
Thanks, man.
All right, let's grab Chris Murphy now. Chris, you got a copy of this is Watson and Shadow like in the booth.
I got you guys.
All right, Chris, you're going for your second championship in a row. You got to win in the playoffs. That was your first win of the season. It was a difficult season for you. You were beaten, battered pretty much the entire season. Still made it into the playoffs. You worked your way through the playoffs somewhat smartly. You got that win, and now you're here going for the championship again. What's your look for tonight on how to make it through and get that championship again?
I think it's just keeping it on the track. This is probably the loosest track I think I've ever been on. It's pretty gnarly. So yeah, my goal here is to just stay out of trouble. I think if you have a clean race, you have a really good shot at winning it. I mean, you just even some of the best guys in the league here, when they go into the corners, you don't even have to touch the gas and they're losing control. So I think it's going to be avoid the trouble, keep it clean, and be there at the end. I mean, if you're not at the end, then you have no shot at winning it.
Well, Chris, you've been in this position before. You came out on top. All the other guys that are in this situation with you tonight haven't been there, at least for this league. What kind of advantage does that maybe give you, knowing that you've already been through the pressure cooker before?
I think it helps a little bit, but mostly just for my own sake. These guys are really experienced, so I'm sure they've been in similar situations in other leagues. But for me, last season, that was my first championship I've won. It just gave me a lot of confidence to know that I could run up there, and getting that win in the playoffs a couple of weeks back really helped my confidence as well. So yeah, I think it's definitely helped. I don't think I'm necessarily a favorite, but I think I have a pretty good shot.
Remember tonight, Chris, as you did last season, you do not have to win this race to become the champion. Last season, you finished second to finish the championship and get that trophy. This season, just pay attention to who's around you and where those other guys are. You're only battling 3 guys tonight in the scheme of things. You don't have to go out there and win, so you don't have to push it. I would just try to stay safe and try to make it to the end to where you can compete to be out in front of those guys, because it seems like a lot of the guys are saying this might be a little bit of a caution fest to survive to the end. So if you got that clean car and maybe you learn something and you can save a little tire or something because you only got 4 sets, we'll see if you can do that and get to the end and get that trophy again.
That sounds good. I'd like to be able to talk to you guys at the end of this.
All right, well, we'll send you back down to Ghost Rider Motorsports, and good luck on tonight's race.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, I was trying to find our other playoff driver, but he is not in the Discord. That would be Ryan Crooks in the 2. Seems to be about third fastest right now. I don't know who to look at, Chad. I don't think there's a favorite by any means, just because this track is pretty unstable right now. But we'll go into the national anthem. We'll come back and see where the gridding is and see what happens throughout this race. Make sure you're paying attention and watching to see those 4 drivers in neon green as the championship contenders. Want to give a shout out to GP, our buddy Pacey Wygen out there in chat, saying he's watching the race and spotting for the 71 of Papa Bear tonight. So we'll see how Papa Bear can do with GP being a spotter. But we'll be right back after the national anthem. All right, we're back here for the starting grid being pulled up right now, and it's going to be Cole Martin on the top of the leaderboard, Chad, with that fast lap time for the pole position, and that is our playoff driver that needed that top spot. Ryan Crooks is going to start second. Another playoff driver starting first and second playoff row is going to be up front. Third is going to be Nick Gowan. Fourth, Sean Walton. Fifth is going to be Sam Harrell. Nathan Mon will start sixth. Wesley Jeanette seventh. Eighth will be Tyler Belanger, our next playoff driver. Johnny Dispicali will be ninth. Chris Murphy 10th, our last qualifying playoff driver. John Osborne will start 11th. Nathan Lyon will start 12th. Mike Papa Bear Campbell will start 13th. Austin Walton 14th. And Salatayon will start 15th.
Yeah, small field for tonight, Kurt. As you know, we've come down to the last race. A lot of guys just decided not to show up. But we got 4 guys competing for the championship, and we still have everyone else that made the playoffs. They're trying to, finish in a better spot, whether it be it's 12th through 9th or 8th through 5th. The payouts are better the better you do. So there's still something to race for those guys that aren't in this final 4. But Kurt, if I had to run a championship race here in a league, I would be completely dreading it the way this track was driving. So all I can say is good luck to these guys. Hopefully it's not a wreck fest. But from my experience being out on track, I gotta say it does not look good.
No. We'll see what happens here. I don't know where it's going to end up, where we're going to end up with how many drivers left, but we'll see. It's going to be a tight one. I think it could get interesting turn 1. So we'll see what happens. We'll see who comes away with the championship. We'll see if the champion is the one who wins the race, or if we have a different winner like we did last season that was not the champion. So a lot of different things to race for tonight, whether it's the top 12 payouts, if it's the championship, if it's just trophy hunting and try to get that first win of the season for yourself. A lot of different people fighting for all kinds of different things, which makes it interesting. So I'm surprised more people didn't show up tonight. It's usually a sad thing for me to see drivers bailing out, quitting, whatever you want to call it. I figure you sign up for a league, you stay till the end, but some guys don't do that. They bail out and start racing in a different league. So, but we've got 1 to green. Cole Martin's going to lead us to that green flag. Ryan Crook's going to start on the outside. Different paint scheme tonight. DraftKings on that car rather than the white that we normally see. He hasn't won in a few races. Maybe he's just trying to switch it up, try to get a different paint scheme on there and see if that helps him. Starting in 4th, that's going to be the number 10 of Sean Walton, running a special paint scheme tonight for his grandmother. Melissa Jean's pole saws is on the side of the car as well. But he asked me about looking at this car during the race, taking a look at it to show. I actually like the coloring patterning on it, going from the white to pink to white. So looks good, but it's got Melissa Jean's pole saws on top. Guess she has a pole saw company, but big shout out to Sean Walton and Austin Walton's grandmother. Up front, green flag is in the air, Shed. Cole Martin is on the gas pedal first. We're going into that dreaded turn 1. We'll see if they can make it through turn 1 and 2 without having a problem. There's big bumps in turn 1 and 2, Shed, as you found out through practice.
Yeah, up there close to the wall, that lane up there, the bumps are extremely bad. Doesn't matter if you're on the gas or not, it completely upsets the car, bottoms out, and it's pretty much undrivable up there. So I don't think we'll see anybody through 1 and 2 go up to the wall, but 3 and 4, pretty smooth, not bad at all. Just really loose on exit coming out of 4.
Claire Murphy out there saying, let's repeat for Murphy. So trying to get that second trophy. I'm not going to say I'm not rooting for Murphy, because Murphy's obviously a friend of ours from different leagues. So definitely rooting for the 7, but I actually don't mind any of the drivers that are actually racing for the championship. So we'll see if any of these guys can bring it home tonight, Sheb, but it looks like everybody's trying to play it safe right now as they are climbing through these things, and nobody's spun. I haven't seen any issues. Even in practice, I mean, guys were making a half a lap runs because they just couldn't make it through the corners. But it looks like maybe everybody decided, hey, let's take it easy through those first couple laps and get it settled down, get it stretched out a little bit, and then maybe start running. And as I say that, there's the caution.
71, Papa Bear Campbell, slow right at the start-finish line.
We'll take it back and take a look, see what happened here to the 71. 71 of Papa Bear coming through. Looks like he's down in the bottom lane, Shad, trying to make the corner. And the rear end just slides on him. I haven't seen anything real snappy. It just looks like it's a slow-mo slide is what starts to happen for these guys. Is that what you were kind of experiencing in the car?
Yeah, it just, you could run the same line, get on the throttle and get off the throttle, same places, and then all of a sudden you're just going through the middle of the turn, and the back end just slowly kicks out, and it's either you tap the brake to kind of stop it, or you do nothing and it just keeps wanting to go around. If you try to correct it, you're gonna snap and head straight to the wall. But yeah, it's just weird. It just all of a sudden gets loose with no warning.
So is there anything you can do? I heard you say you could tap the brake. Does that actually help the car, stop sliding like that? Or I mean, based on what I'm seeing when the cars start to slide throughout practice and now with Papa Bear doing it, it just looks like the car just doesn't slow down. It just starts sliding and there's no correction on it. And I've seen some guys where they try to correct it really hard with turning the wheel, like, turn the opposite direction to get it to straighten out, and then it just snaps on them. So is there anything you can do in that car that really can help that slide, or is there just nothing you can do and you're along for the ride?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're in the throttle, you get out of it. You can jab the brakes, especially when these cars are really starting to get sideways. If you jab the brakes, it locks up the tires and it'll actually kind of straighten you out. But if you let that slide go on for too long before either getting out of the throttle or maybe just giving the brakes a little bit of a push, then the slide gets too far, and it's either you just stay in it or you overcorrect, and that's when that car will just snap. But it's pretty much a no saving deal once you let it get too sideways.
We didn't have a whole lot of movement, but Nick Gowan did go up one position. Now he is in second. He's going to line up on the outside of Cole Martin. Ryan Crooks did drop 2 positions, and Sam Harrell did move up 2 positions. So, Ryan Crooks dropped 1 position, and Sam Harrell started or stayed in the same position. But we'll see what happens here on the next one. Down the backstretch here, it looked pretty clean for a lot of the drivers. Didn't see anybody come down pit road that time, Chad, with only 4 sets of tires tonight. I don't expect to see a lot of guys, risking going down and grabbing extra tires on short runs like this.
Yeah, I mean, they got 5 sets. That includes the ones they started this race on. We know tires definitely help with the car not being as loose. But, this amount of laps, I wouldn't come in yet.
We're back under green now.
Flag back out.
Yeah, green flag's in the air. We're coming into turn 1. Cole Martin and Nick Gowan leading the field into that turn 1. Don't see any problems through turn 1 and 2. Down in the backstretch, they come out of turn 2 and go down. Into turn 3, no issue still. A couple guys spread out. I'm seeing guys from the bottom to almost the top line, Chad. Is there a significant line here to run, or are there just multiple grooves, or is there just go where you can and hope the car stays?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the top, you carry a ton of speed onto these tiny little, straightaways. But through 1 and 2, it's a bit risky with that big bump that is right in the middle. 3 and 4, it's not bad, and to me, it actually felt like the car wasn't as loose on exit, being up that high. Not sure how it is on saving the tires, but 1 and 2, as you see Sammy Harrell up there in that 43 purple and white machine, every time he goes through 1 and 2, right about the halfway part between the turns, you see that car bounce, and that is where the tunnel is, and that is where those bumps are just completely upsetting the car. You can actually hear it scraping the bottom as you're going over those bumps.
I mean, how irritating, or how how does that?
Sammy Harrell gets loose, Kurt.
And he's going around. Nate Mon going to be collected. A couple other guys going around as well. A couple guys on hard braking. Hopefully we didn't have any more involved in that one. But Nate Mon going to have some damage to the front end of that car, Shad. He's got some heavy damage to the front bumper.
Yeah, and a playoff driver, the 88 of Tyler Belanger, involved as well. Going to have a little bit of damage. Actually, maybe quite a bit. I see the front end of that car look like he hit a telephone pole head on.
Him and Nate Baum both have the same amount of damage, it looks like.
Yeah, and, that's Sammy Harrell. It was going over those bumps. He went through it a couple times, and it was okay. Then he went through it again, and the car, when it landed, it upset. He tried to save it, almost overcorrected, got it kind of straightened out, but it's just, the car is just too upset at that point. and he gets loose, tries to get on the brakes, and you get Nathan Mon and Tyler Belanger running into the back of one another, and that's how easily it is. Like, he drove through that turn multiple times, and then all of a sudden he hit at the same spot, and it just gets loose, and that was the problem I was having here.
And we're going to take a look. We just saw what happened from the instant replay. We'll go inside the 88 of Tyler Belanger to watch what his view will look like. No time to react there as Sammy Harrell slowed down on the track. Nate Mon ran into the back of him. Tyler Belanger ran into the back of Nate Mon and kicked Nate Mon out like a pinball there. He just kind of swung around in front of everybody, but just not a whole lot of time to react when these issues come up with these guys. So we'll go inside Nate Mon's car to see the exact amount of time he had to react to this 43 car. You can see him out in front of him getting a little bit loose, tries to correct it, and he's still on the gas and then just off pace. I think once he saw Sammy get a little loose, he might have tried to get down, but I think he thought he was going to be able to save it. Back up to the front, though. Cole Martin, playoff driver, out front, led all laps so far, got the pole. Nick Allen sitting second. Ryan Crooks, another playoff driver, sitting third. Sean Walton still fourth. Chris Murphy, playoff driver, up 5 spots, Shad. With these incidents, he's moving up through the field. He needs to get in front of the other 2 that are in front of him at some point. But he is currently in 5th. Wesley Jeanette 6th. Johnny D sitting 7th, up 2 spots. John Osborne up 3 spots, sitting 8th. Nate Mon up 4 spots, sitting 9th. Tyler Tayon up 6 spots, sitting 10th. And then the rest of the field has been either involved in the incident or was in the first incident with Papa Bear. Hearing the guys talking, Chad, it doesn't sound like any of them, like I said, could react. There's nothing they could do about it. It was just trying to keep a hold of the car and just no time to make a move. Well, we are looks like 15 laps through the first start of this, or first half of this race. That stage break will come out at 70, but remember, stage points do not matter tonight, so guys don't have to pay attention to their stage points. They don't have to race for the stage win, race for the stage points at all, unless they're battling for the positions in the back. I mean, as a championship driver, you may not have to worry about it, but if you're battling, say, 5th on back in the points, every point matters for yourself to try to get a higher payout. So some guys will help themselves with getting those extra stage points tonight. Some guys will sit back and not worry about it and say, I'm just going for the win. I'm just going for the championship. I'm not worrying about points. But we'll see what happens. Cole Martin coming through the start-finish line, taking us to 1 to green here. Shad, are you surprised by everything we're seeing here?
I mean, I thought there'd be a little bit more of this by the way the car was feeling during practice. So, the guys at least are kind of doing a better job than what I thought it was going to be, navigating this surface and this car around here. 2 cautions. Luckily, the first one was just a self, incident. Papa Bear didn't even hit anything. Everyone avoided him. Second time around, you had a car that was up there battling, for pretty much the lead, almost. And, you had the entire field behind him and just nowhere to go on exit. So I think the guys are still doing a pretty good job. I think they've learned from like a couple weeks ago at New Hampshire that you have to be patient. You muted, Kurt.
Cole Martin on the loud pedal, screaming through the start-finish line. We'll go into turn 1 here. I don't know if there's anything they can do, Shad. I mean, it looks like a lot of them are taking their pedal off. They're lightening the load a little bit on how they're turning down in. They're not braking as hard. They're just kind of, out for a Sunday drive, taking it easy. And I think that's the winning strategy, is just taking it easy, playing it safe. Not going out there and trying to lay down fast lap times, not trying to go out there and make a lot of passes early in this race. I mean, we're only 16 or 18 laps into this race, and points don't matter specifically for the playoff driver. So I don't know if I would go out there. Oh, and Murphy's
Chris
getting loose,
Murphy
and he
over-
saves it. No caution.
And that was a product of driving it in just too much. Got loose on entry.
And let's back it up and take a look here, and you see he just, I mean, he came in a little too hard. I thought maybe the 10 touched him, but it didn't look like the 10 actually made contact, and it just got loose. He got loose coming out of turn 2 before he even went down through the straightaway. And the thing about this track too, Shad, is the straightaways are just, they're really short. It's not really like a straightaway on the front.
No, I mean it's got an arc to it, like Richmond, and if you get on the throttle, you're just burning those tires up. It's pretty much spinning them, and the car never has any time to unload because it's still turning the entire front straightaway. But good job on everyone avoiding Chris Murphy, and Murphy locking it up and able to save it. To where he did not hit anything, so he's still okay. Like you said, stage points do not mean a single thing tonight for these 4 guys. So as long as he's there at the end and you hang on to that fast repair as long as you can. But right now, Kurt, these guys are surprising me, doing really well, and the front 3 are just pulled out right now, about 2.5 seconds over 4th place West of Jeanette.
Yeah, and I'm looking here. I mean, Cole Martin, he's just steady right around the same lap time almost every single time. His best lap's at 24.3. He's still running at 24.4. So, I mean, he's only 10th off his fastest lap. He's run 22 laps. We've had 8 laps of caution laps in there. But, I mean, they just kind of consistently running the same lap times. Nick Gowan, same thing. He's a little bit faster on the last couple laps than Cole Martin. He just can't get by him here. And I think Cole's doing a good job of protecting the bottom. I think that's where he's making his time. He's making his gap. Nick's maybe closing in on the straightaways because he's running a little bit higher in a different spot than Cole is. Run where they're not at. And he's closing the distance. But then when Cole dives it into the corner, he separates that distance again. And I don't think Nick can get by Cole just straight up going around the outside of him. It's not going to happen. He's going to have to get close to him. And there's another caution.
42, Johnny D. Yeah, slow. Actually coming to a complete stop out of turn 2. And also I see the 1 of Tyler Tayon involved as well, it looks like.
We'll back it up to Johnny D here, and we'll take a look to see what happened to Johnny D. 42's coming out of turn 4, gets into the gas, goes across start-finish line, goes into 1. Think he hits the bump, Shad. And the back end just kicks out on him. Well, he does not hit anything that I know of so far. Ooh, that was close. Doesn't hit anything. We'll see what happens. Oh, he does hit something. Tyler Tayon runs right into him. Let's back that up. Tyler Tayon battling with Austin Walton back here. And you can see the 42 stopped on the track. And just as Tyler goes to go around him, Johnny D puts it in gear and starts to move up the track. I don't think he saw Tyler Tayon coming. Tyler had Austin to the outside. Granted, caution was out, so maybe they all should have been off the gas anyways, but I don't know, Shep. There's nothing. I mean, the breakaway on the tires, that's just what we've been seeing as the product of Iowa. I don't know if I blame Johnny D for coming up into Tyler or Tyler being in the track where
I don't know
Johnny D
if
was
the
coming up.
caution was. I don't know if the caution was actually out yet.
It might not have been,
but I would say the contact between Johnny and Tyler would be on Johnny. When you spin and you're sitting there waiting to get going again, I think you as a driver you got to wait until everyone goes by before pulling back up into the racing groove. And he just barely touched Tyler. I know Johnny did not mean to do it on purpose. It's just it happens.
Caution light was on as Tyler Taylor and Austin Walton got through that turn.
Yeah, so they probably should have slowed down. But
I mean, it
if he
kicked on right as they got out of the corner.
Yes, and if he would have slowed down, I mean, he would have T-boned Johnny, not just getting clipped. So it could have been a lot worse, especially for Johnny Tyler hitting the inside wall. I'm not sure if he's going to have to use a fast repair on that or not. It looked like the front end was caved in quite a bit, but you know, if he didn't use the fast repair already, which I don't think he did, he at least, you know, can get that thing back to fully fixed if it was that bad.
And it looks like Belanger got his damage fixed already too, and I was trying to take a look at Nate Mon to see if he had gotten his damage fixed, and his does not look like it's completely fixed. It's still bowed in a little bit. You can see the roof or the hood line there on the front bumper is bowed just a little bit. There's a little bit of a gap, but Belanger's looks good. If he didn't use his fast repair, they did a pretty good job in repairing that one. If he used the fast repair, which hopefully he didn't because it was really early, unless it was, you know, terminal damage, but I didn't see him smoking or nothing.
No, but I think we had a couple takers on pit road. Obviously, the 42 and I believe the 7 of Chris Murphy also came down pit road. Not sure if he actually put tires on it, but if he did, look out. He could make up some serious time with those fresher tires.
Well, he was on pit road for 14.2. I don't think he had any damage as he went by Johnny D. I don't think he made contact. I don't think he had any contact from earlier. On iRacing,
Nah,
Chad, what
I
does
would-
the tire situation, when you spin, does it seriously hurt the tires like in real life when they flat spot a tire or, you know, burn off the rubber from sliding and stuff like that, or blow tires? Do you actually feel any difference after you spin with the tires if you don't come down and change them?
Yeah, maybe not right away, but I mean, it definitely takes some of the life out of the tires when you spin and heat those things up. Obviously, if you were to get loose, get those tires heated up, you're gonna stay loose for a couple of laps until you get, you know, those things cooled off a little bit. So, you know, if you spin like Chris Murphy did, he did lock up the front tires. It probably knocked, you know, the percentage out of the tires, you know, 2, 3, maybe 4%. So he might not be as good on the long run as these other guys that have not spun. So I mean, you could probably do anywhere between 78 to 82, 83 laps, I think, on a fuel run. So he's going to set it up to where he can make it on one stop from here. It's just whether or not these guys can hang on to the cars for the lifespan of the tires.
Well, we know they're stopping at lap 70 for the stage break. I would assume you would have one more set in the middle of the run for the second half of the race, and then that last set. I hope he doesn't have to use another one. But we're going back green here as Cole Martin gets a great jump of the restart box, gets a good lead into the corner. Nick Gowan sitting there with Ryan Crooks looking low underneath him. You can see the bumps of the car bouncing on the bottom as well. Nate Monshad, after all that wreckage and everything, even with the damage on the front end, he is up here in fourth spot.
Yeah, making a good recovery from getting involved when Sammy Harrell got loose, and you know, working his way back up. Unfortunately, though, Nate Mon missing last week, you know, nullified his chances of being in the final 4 for tonight. But he still has a chance to make it to 5th place, and, you know, get the payout for that. So good on Nate for being able to make it at least tonight and try to improve his chances on a better payout.
We got Sean Walton and Chad. Sean's been having some good runs lately where we're seeing him in the top 10. Earlier in the season, we've seen him having some issues and things like that, but lately, the last couple weeks, he's been running in the top 10. Last week, I think he was up to about 3rd and then got spun. And then this week, he was up front when Sammy Harrell spun in front of him. So he's having a good run in this 10 car with that Melissa Jean Pulsaw company on the side. But I think Sean, if he can clean up some of these other tracks that he's had some issues on, I think he could be a top 10 driver a lot of the races we run.
Yeah, for sure. Sean and even Austin have shown speed, just haven't got the consistent finishes, and, you know, had some bad luck. But if those two can clean that up for next season, you know, they could be up here.
Austin for sure had speed last season. His problem was just tires.
Yeah, so, you know, both, like you said, have shown speed, and, you know, obviously they got something to build on for next season. But up front, still that 31, Cole Martin, followed by Nick Gowan, and then Ryan Crooks, top 3. Nathan Mon coming back up to 4th, falling back just a little bit, about a second right now behind 3rd place. And Chris Murphy on the fresh tires, Kurt, has already moved up from 14th clear up to 10th. So making up some ground already on those fresh tires. But having to battle through the pack, Kurt, as I see the 81 of John Osborne, Kurt, slow on the back stretch. No caution, though, right now as he's back rolling. And now caution is out. And it is that 88 Kurt of Tyler Belanger. Slow on exit of turn 4. Looks like he's got it back going. And I believe you're muted, Kurt.
We'll back it up here and see what happens to Tyler Belanger in the 88 as he comes through the corner. He's fighting with Wesley Jeanette. Dives it down to the bottom line, and the rear end just goes around on him, drifting around through the corner.
Yeah, just
Pretty much drifted the whole corner.
Yeah, that's a product of just driving in that much, too deep, and there's just no grip, and the car just goes into a complete drift.
Luckily, he didn't hit anything, but definitely going to take some life out of that set of tires there. I think he was one of our takers from before who came down pit road, if I'm not mistaken, and I looked, and yes, he was. So, I'm looking at some of the other drivers, and the guys up front are still on those original old tires. Cole Martin and Nick Gowan, both up front on old tires. Nate Mon is on 26 when he was in that incident with Belanger and Sammy Harrell. So he's got the little bit fresher tires behind these front two. Wesley Jeanette sitting there in 4th. He's on the original set of tires at 38 laps. Ryan Crooks went down pit road that time to swap out. Sammy Harrell's on the 26 from when he was in the incident. Chris Murphy's on 13, so he's up to 7th already on those fresh tires. And then you got Nate Line and Sean Walton, who are on the old set of tires, as well as Papa Bear. Shad, Papa Bear never exchanged tires after spinning early in the race.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have came down this time by. You've had about, roughly around maybe 30 laps of green flag, laps on these tires. You got 5 sets, so you still have 3 more after this one. Everyone's probably going to put on a set once we get to that stage break, and then from there on out, it's one stop to make it to the end. So you still have an extra set technically. If you put tires on before and put tires on again at the end of the stage break. But yeah, Chris Murphy up to 6 after Ryan Cook's pitting. So, move him up 8 spots since he spun and then decided to come down pit road. We'll have to see
he's got 25 lap fresher tires than everybody in front of him.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what kind of pace he has compared, to Cole Martin, Nick Gowan, and then, Ryan Crooks coming down getting tires on that thing. He may make up some serious speed because he's been running pretty much top 3 all night as well. So Ryan Crooks could be on one heck of a charge. But right now, Kurt, if it was the finish, will be like Fox Sports. If it was the finish right now, Cole Martin would be our champion. And I hate when they do that in real life TV because it's like, man, there's still, 200 laps. Why are we even talking about that? But they like to do that. But we still have at least about 119, 118 when we go back green. So still a long way to go in this race before a champion's crowned.
Yeah, every week they come up on there and they're like, "Oh, these guys are in the playoffs." As if we stopped right now, well, we're not stopping 70 laps into the race. So
and there's still more races before the playoff cutoff, so I don't even know why they bring that up.
Yeah, even in the Xfinity race, they were like, "Oh, this guy's just got wrecked, so now he's out of the playoffs, and this guy's in the playoffs." Well, then by the end of the race, the guy that was in afterwards got knocked out, and he's done 20 points down because the other guy, Riley Herbst, came all the way back up the field. So
yeah, I wish they wouldn't even talk about the
ends.
cutoff until like the second to last race of the regular season. Then maybe start bringing it up, and then obviously the last race of the regular season.
Yeah, they talk about like 8 races ago.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bunch of races to go before it, and they're already talking about it. It's like anything can happen in those races. Like, why
and we have
talking
Talladega
about it?
left, and
Yeah.
I think there's 2 road courses too. So There's a lot of different things that can happen in that time frame. But here tonight in this race, it is the finale. There is no more racing tomorrow. There is no more taking tires. There is no nothing after this race tonight. We'll wait until Season 3 starts. Right now, ballpark is sometime around October for starting up Season 3 of the Next Gen Series and Velocity on Tuesday nights. But who will come away with the crown tonight for the champion? Our current champion is Chris Murphy, who is back in 7th in that 7 car. So see if he can claim a second trophy or if we'll crown a new champion tonight. Do you think Chris can get up there and get the second championship, Chad, or do you think he's going to have to wrestle away from either Cole Martin or Ryan Crooks if Ryan can get his way back up here on those fresh tires?
Well, we go back green. Cole Martin gets a good jump again over his buddy Nick Gowan. But, yeah, to answer your question, Murphy right now, yeah, he's second right now of the playoff drivers or the championship drivers. But he's going to have to learn, how to get around this track a little better because Cole Martin, even with older tires, Kurt, was running lap times, that Chris Murphy was barely hitting. So Murphy, even on newer tires, has got to figure this thing out, which he's got a bunch of laps to do it. And, of course, anything can still happen. Not to try to put any bad juju on anybody, but it's a long way to go. And, we've seen guys get caught up in mess. I think Ryan Crooks has the speed to maybe, win this thing right now. Obviously, Cole Martin, our leader. Tyler Bia, I'm not sure. And then I think Murphy right now, he's got to pick it up a little bit or find something.
Or he's got to hope something happens to Cole Martin.
Yeah, because right now Cole Martin looks to be the class of the field tonight. But then again,
Ryan Crooks just went by Chris Murphy.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I'm noticing this too, Chad. If I'm watching Cole Martin, and he seems to be the lowest car on the track when they go through the corners. He dives it right down to almost the yellow line. Nick's been about a half car up, almost a full car up. The rest of the field's been about a half car to a car up. Ryan Crooks is the other one that consistently is going down almost all the way to the yellow line. It seems to be something he's learned with this track, that he's rolling through the bottom, kind of like Atlanta used to be when you got down to the yellow line and you used the extra grip that was on the line to get around there, that Harvick line. But he's not technically going down to the line, but he's as close as you can get to it without putting his tires on the line.
Yeah, I don't know if he learned that, if you don't do a huge arc, it doesn't get as loose on entry or going through the center. But he's definitely entering more, at a straighter point going into these turns instead of an arc. And it's working for him right now, So far, no one's been able to get out around him. His good buddy Nick Gowan's been close to him all night. Even running a little bit of a different line, but Ryan Crooks already moved up to third place right now on those fresh tires. So
Ryan's coming in a hurry.
Ryan Crooks, it's definitely coming. And caution's out, Kurt, and it's the 7 of Chris Murphy.
And we got Murphy down in the infield in the grass, driving through, doing some lawn mowing. We'll go back and take a look to see what happened to Chris Murphy, as one of our playoff drivers, our champion currently from last season, is not having some good luck right now. So we'll back it up, take a look, see what happened to Murphy. See if he had some help. Looked like maybe Sammy Harrell might have been involved in this with him. Sammy Harrell down on the bottom, comes up the track. Nope, Murph gets a little loose, gets sideways a little bit, gets slowed up, and Murph gets taken out by Harrell as Harrell comes up the track, not expecting Murphy to be off the pedal. It looks like Murphy may have been able to save that, Chad, if Harrell had not made contact, but not anything that Harrell did wrong. He, was coming up the track, coming out of the corner, carrying the speed, and Murph was off the gas pedal.
Yeah, Murphy gets loose, does a great job of, wrangling it back in, but had to get out of the throttle. And, at that point, guys are pretty much full throttle coming out of these turns, and Sammy just had nowhere to go. Didn't have enough time to be able to avoid it. Plus, I don't know if you crank the wheel, left.
I think he ends up right inside of him.
Out. Yeah, so he may have spun out himself doing that, but it's not Sammy's fault. He had nowhere to go, and
lucky for Chris, he didn't hit anything. So
no,
he's got a lot of laps still. He already changed the
just
set of tires early, so
Yeah, that's the only thing. He did take probably some life out of those tires, so he could pit now and get the track position by not pitting at the stage break.
I don't see
It
it
would only
happening though. He's got
He'd
20
only-
laps to go before the stage break. He's got 25 laps on his tires currently. Even if he took a little bit of life out of them, I mean, Cole Martin and Nick Gowan both are on 50-lap-old tires from the original set, and they're still out here running the fastest lap times on track next
yeah,
to
but we've seen
Ryan
Ryan
Crooks.
Crooks coming, so the tires definitely help. But Chris Murphy, we go back green with 18, 17, to the end of the stage. I think if he took tires now and then stayed out then, he would gain all that track position. And we've seen that Cole Martin, Nick Gowan, pretty good on the long run, and some of these other guys as well. So
The only problem for
I don't
him
know.
doing that is those guys who would be in front, who have been the fastest guys on track, would then have fresh tires. So
true, but
I
he
feel
would
like
get
the
this
entire
track
field
position.
would probably pit.
Yeah, he would get this track position, now, and then maybe lose it later, or get it then, and then as the run went on, maybe lost some spots. But right now, he's got to try to make up spots before that stage break on tires where he probably just took a little bit of life out of them.
Yeah,
So,
but,
I mean,
stage
I guess
stage break
one of
doesn't
the
matter
other-
to him. So if he can just ride around back here for another 20 laps, get to the stage, be able to swap those tires out, he wouldn't have burned an extra set, and try to work on it for the second half. Maybe he learned something back here, just kind of running like a Sunday drive run, and not trying to run fast laps, just trying to manage the tires as best he can for the next 18 laps. I think is what we're gonna have before the stage break. I know there might be another caution before we get to the stage break, so
Yeah, I think Ryan Crooks, obviously wanted to see this caution. It grouped him back up with the leaders. He could maybe take that track position, and it's going to cost him a set of tires. Obviously, I think he's going to want to get tires again when the stage break happens, because I don't think you want to start that final stage, on so much older tires than Cole Martin. Because if it does stay green, you're obviously going to lose time to him. But
see, Ryan's got 12 lap fresher tires than Murphy does.
yeah, but I don't know. Either way, if you don't pit now, I think you gotta pit at the end of the stage for sure. That's just kind of what I would think. But guys stayed out, so I think they're all gonna come down and get tires.
Yeah. Pace cars down pit road. We're going to the restart box. Cole Martin on the gas pedal first. Cole's been getting some great jumps in the restart box where he clears everything and gets a pretty good, decent lead into the corner. Nate Mon is underneath Nick Gowan right now, but Gowan's going to have the momentum on the high side. Ryan Crooks, I thought, passed Nate Mon for third before we got that caution, but
Yeah,
Nate Mon
must
got
been
him
the
back or
ti-
something.
It must have been the timing loop. Just wasn't there at the last loop.
But Ryan looking high, trying to follow Nick Gowan now. Nate Mon trying to slide up the track, almost comes up into Ryan Crooks. And Chad, as a championship driver, you're battling the drivers that are in the championship four, but you're also battling guys who are out here trying to get their points to get higher payouts. You're also battling guys who don't have a win and want to go trophy hunting and just grab a win. And there's another
back out.
caution. And we
Yeah,
got
I
a bunch of
see
guys.
38,
Murphy.
71. I don't see Murphy.
He's
slow.
on pit road slow.
Oh yeah.
He's coming out the pit road exit now. But we'll back this up and take a look to see what happens on this one that Murphy is involved in. As if Murphy wasn't involved in enough crashes this season.
He's fine.
I think he might have started this.
No. 38.
Oh, so Nate Line. I'll back it up here. Take a look at Nate. Down the backstretch they go. Nate Line, the 38. Goes into the corner, back end sliding already. Wesley Jeanette runs into the back of his teammate. Tyler Talon runs into the back of Wesley Jeanette and Nate Line. Chris Murphy avoids everything, goes down pit road. And looks like Papa Bear might have gotten a little bit of damage on the side of his car, but not anything terrible there. So we'll rack 'em and stack 'em and do it again, Shem.
Yeah, now it shows Ryan Crooks being ahead of Nathan Mon. So that's one less guy he's got to battle to try to get to that lead. But Nick Gallen, Cole Martin are still looking pretty good on those old tires. Not a good thing for the field that these two can be up here on tires this old and still be out there running very competitive lap times.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty close in lap times, even on the old tires compared to Ryan Crooks's new tires. I just feel like these two have a handle on it. And, I mean, Nick and Cole are teammates, so I'm wondering how much Nick will influence this battle with Ryan Crooks. Does he really, really battle Ryan and make Ryan use up his stuff and slow him down a little bit to give Cole a little bit of an advantage? I don't know that Nick's the type of driver to do that, but it is Championship Tuesday, and Cole Martin's going for that championship and going for his first win this season. If his teammate can help him out, I don't see a real big issue with it as long as he doesn't cause, a caution or something like that, or damage to Ryan or anything like that. I mean, you can be Ryan Newman out there even if you're not going for the championship, and you can block and run somebody hard. Ryan Newman hasn't gone for a championship in many, many seasons, but he's still the hardest person to pass.
Well, he was.
Well, he's still out there on track. He was out there last week and a couple weeks ago, and I think he's got 4 more races this season. He's driving the 51 car. Oh, it was New Atlanta. That's where his first race this season was. But even this weekend at Richmond, Ryan Newman got pulled up on by the leader and battled him for, I think they said 10 or 11 laps, where he just couldn't get by him. And that's just Ryan Newman. He will battle you as if he is going for the lead, even though he's in last.
Yeah. Well, he's got the right to battle. To
That's what I'm saying. If you're the leader and you come up to lap somebody and it's Ryan Newman, you might as well just sit behind him, because it's going to be the most difficult thing ever to pass him. But we are 58 laps into the run, Chad. We've got now 12 laps to go before we get to that stage break. We'll have 11 when they get to the line, or 10, because I don't see 1 to green on yet. So a 10-lap shootout here. These guys in the front, Chad, I can't believe it. They've made it the whole run on those old tires, and they have conserved at least 1 to 2 extra sets compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, the way the fuel's going right now, they're acting like they can do it on just 1 stop. And it's not a good sign for those other championship drivers that Cole Martin out there said he hated this track, and yet got the pole, led practice, and has led every lap so far tonight, and has not pitted, and still nobody has been able to get out around him.
Yeah, I don't think that bodes well for everybody, but I don't know if they can make it in 1 stop, Shad. It seems crazy.
Cautions keep coming out. They definitely could.
Well, yeah. I mean, 70 to 80 laps on the fuel run. If you throw in the cautions, which we've had 6 so far, we'll have a 7th at the stage break. They'd have to hope for at least probably, 2 or 3 cautions, which is half of what we've had so far.
Probably at least 2.
So I guess it is possible, but we're into the restart zone we go. Cole Martin choosing the outside and gets a big jump now into the corner. Nick Gowan going to be riding right behind him. I think they did that on purpose, Shad, to keep Ryan Crooks behind Nick Gowan rather than behind the leader. I'm going to guess that was probably some teammate gamemanship, because Cole Martin had chosen the ball.
21 Nate Mon gets into the back of Ryan Gowan. It gets him loose, sends him down the pit road entrance. I think he does save it, though.
No caution.
And Nate Mon going to get it fired and get rolling again. No caution there. Just drove it in a little too deep. Got in the back of Gowan, and it upset his car instead of Gowan's. And now Ryan Crooks underneath the 3 of Nick Gowan, gets clear of him on exit of 4. Move Ryan Crooks up to P2. Now the fresher tire is going to be chasing down a guy that has yet to pit.
Yeah, he's got 40 lap fresher tires than what Cole Martin's got out in front of him. But back to the start, Chad. Do you see any issues with that when teammates decide, hey, you take the high line, I'll take the low line, we'll put the guy with the fresh tires behind me on the bottom?
There's
Is
nothing
that
wrong
just
with that at all.
is that
That's
gamemanship? Is that racing? Is that
strategy.
okay? I didn't know if it was
I-
fair, but
No, yeah, that's. I wouldn't expect a driver to not do that. I mean, if I'm on fresher tires, you want to try to put me behind, one of your buddies or a teammate to try to make me burn up my stuff even more, getting to you.
well, plus
if you're
Cole
the
could
leader.
jump on the restart as the leader, so Ryan could have been
Yeah.
on his back bumper on the restart, and
Yeah,
this
and
gives
looking
him a
at
little
lap
advantage.
times, Cole Martin last time by runs a 24.33. Ryan Crooks runs a 24.37. So Cole Martin, even though he's on those older tires, still putting down lap times faster than a guy that his tires are 40 laps, newer.
Yeah, I thought tires were going to be the biggest deal tonight, Chad, but it doesn't appear that tires are. I mean, it
No, they
seems
just
like
seem
tires
to equalize really
yeah,
quickly.
It doesn't seem like the fall off because I mean the best lap time Ryan Crooks just ran it a 24.222. But even
only a tenth quicker.
yeah,
than
I
Cole
mean
Martin.
yeah, Cole Martin's best lap time was a 24.247. So I mean, it's not that far off, and I don't think that wasn't too long ago that he ran that lap time. So,
No, he just hit a 2.27 right there.
yeah,
And Cole Martin ran a 3.8, so still about a tenth and a half quicker. So the tires are that much difference, but
Cole
that's
is loose.
40 laps different on your tires. And Cole Martin obviously knows that two's behind him on fresher tires, and we got 3 laps to the stage break. He does not want Ryan Crooks to be able to get out in front of him and take away that track position going into the final bit of this race. But Ryan Crooks gets a great run caution out though. I see
Oh.
88 Tyler B. No, 38 Nathan Line.
And that's going to keep Ryan behind Cole Martin, and I'm wondering
Yeah.
if they'll use this as the
That's
stage
just-
break show.
Yeah, admins just announced over the race comms that this will act as the stage break because obviously we're not going to get it going again before lap 70. So they just do the stage break now. So big benefit of Cole Martin hanging on to it. He's going to keep at least the first car down pit road, but I think everybody comes down pit road, even Ryan Crooks right now.
I think
we
you
see
have
that
to.
the tires do make a little bit of a difference.
And our good buddy Repeat out there in the chat saying, Swats and Chad having a great broadcast. Yes, we definitely appreciate you tuning in, Pete. It's been a good one so far. It's a championship Tuesday here for Velocity. Little bit of a caution streak going on. We got 7 so far, but not as many as we thought it was going to be with Iowa with these next-gen cars. It is slick as snot, or as our grandfather always says, snot on a doorknob. So it's pretty rough out there, Shab.
Yeah, my experience during practice, it was a handful. These guys, 7 cautions really are not that bad, in my opinion, for how bad these cars are driving tonight. This track is not easy for these things right now, and I think probably the only way to make them easy here is you got to have some kind of custom setup. But the fight for off pit road, Kurt, looks like the 31 going to hang on to the lead, and I don't know. I think the 2 might have beat the 3 out of pit road, so going to hang on to P2, I believe.
Looks like a couple guys staying out there. Wesley, Jeanette, Johnny D, all stayed out. Which,
Actually, Kurt, Ryan
No,
Crooks,
no,
Nick
no.
Gowan hit with the speeding penalty on pit road. Both of them going to drop to the rear of the field.
wow. Yeah, it looks like Wesley Jeanette and Johnny D Shad stayed out. Wesley Jeanette on 21 lap old tires, Johnny D on 45 lap old tires, both staying out. So we'll bring Cole Martin up and talk to him for a second on his another stage win, which does not matter. Cole, you got a copy of this Swats and Swats and Cadillac in the booth.
Yeah, I got y'all.
All right, Cole, you got another stage win, but tonight it doesn't really matter about the stages. But fastest in practice, you get the pole for the qualifying. You've led every lap so far until now. You're looking pretty fast here. You got two guys that were behind you that seems to be the biggest challenge for you. Both of them just got hit with pit road penalties, so they're going to be out of your sight for a little bit. How's the track feeling, and do you think you can make it to the end here?
It's getting worse and worse, the track conditions. I feel like longer the run goes on, looser I feel like I get. I'd like to thank Nick and Nate for helping me out on this setup. We changed a couple of things on the master cylinders to help it for entry not be as loose and through the turn, but now it's starting to, well, at the end of that run there, it got a little loose on me there, and Kirk's caught me. Thank God for that caution, but yeah, I'm not very confident still. I feel like my tire saving ain't going well at all. I feel like I'm burning them up still.
You just ran the most laps out of anybody with Nick Gowan on that set of tires. Nobody ran that long besides you two.
Yeah, I don't know. I still fear it. I still hate this track. 71 laps in, but we'll see how it goes.
Plus, you saved an extra set too. So,
yeah.
Chad, any pointers, questions?
Well,
or
you
anything?
may hate this track, but you are definitely the man to beat, I believe, right now. You know, you're out there on 60-plus lap old tires compared to some of the guys that were 40 laps better than you. Your lap times were only about a tenth off. Nick Gowan, who was on the same strategy, you were pulling away from him there right before that last caution. So I would say the tire strategy or saving is doing pretty well for you. You're going to have to pit for sure, probably, I would think. I don't know if you can make it, but definitely one stop for sure. So I don't know, man. I think you got it the rest of the way. But how is the track actually rubbering up?
Well, the bottom feels I don't know what feels the best, to be honest. I mean, there's multiple lanes. Crooks is running the high lane. I'm kind of confused with the track right now, to be honest. It just breaks loose anywhere.
Confused? Led every lap in the first half of the race, Sean.
Yeah.
So, Cole, good luck. I would say.
The rest of the guys.
Yeah, I would say.
Thank you.
I would say don't change anything. I would say do exactly what you just did there.
Yeah.
So, good luck, and we'll send you back down.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that should be scary for everybody else. If he's confused and not liking this track, and he had the oldest tires out there and was still running consistently pretty fast lap times, I think that should be scary for everybody else.
Yeah, the guy that said he's not comfortable, but yet dominated
the track.
the first half of the race. Only reason why Ryan Crooks was there because of newer tires. But now the two guys that were probably the closest to him in speed, way back in the pack, gonna have to work their way up. And Ryan Crooks or Cole Martin just got to get around two teammates of their own, being Johnny D and Wesley Jeanette. And then he can go up front and set sail. And, if another caution does not come out, he could pull quite a bit of a gap on the 3 and the 2 and make it extremely hard. But I still can't count on those other two playoff drivers, Kurt. The 7, the 88, they're not that far behind Cole Martin. And I know that Chris and Tyler are still out there learning how to get around here.
Yeah, I don't think they found any the speed that Martin has, which is concerning because he's saying he doesn't think he's very good right now, and this was horrible or whatever, but he was still consistently the fastest car out there. So, but they're definitely moving up through, and so is Nick Gowan and Ryan Crooks. They're logged right behind the 7 of Murphy and Tyler Belanger, the 88. Both of them are coming around to the bottom of the track. It looks like Cole Martin's using the bottom more than anybody else. Even on old tires or new tires. As you see, Wesley Jeanette up there in the 3rd groove, Sammy Harrell's in the 2nd groove, and Cole Martin down there on the bottom right at the yellow line.
Yeah, Cole, with that adjustment, whatever it was, definitely has helped him. Him and Nick Gowan, I don't really see them ever getting loose on entry compared to some of the other drivers. They get loose, on exit, but not terrible. But Cole Martin has just found something with that bottom line. And, sometimes slower and smoother is faster. And, he's right now getting close to being on the back bumper of West.
Oh, and Harrell's around.
Caution is out.
Sammy Harrell around on the front stretch, went through the grass, didn't make any contact with the inside wall, though, so no damage to Sammy's car, but caution does come out as this happens here. Osborne got loose, too, going into turn 1, but was able to save it. We'll go back to Sammy Harrell. I think he might have had contact or got loose and made contact.
Yeah, he got loose, got into the wall, and slowed up right in front of the 10 of Walton. And Walton got in the back of him and kind of sent him around.
So we'll go to Sean Walton and see from his view what he saw out of his Melissa Jean's Pulsar Toyota. You can hear him out of the gas shed, and then he gets back into the gas because I think he thinks Harold's fine, and he's off the wall, but Harold's going around in front of him.
Yeah, it looks like, Walton tries to turn underneath him when Sammy's up against the wall. Sammy pulls his car off the wall, and, Sean was just not expecting it. And Sammy pulls right in front of Sean and just nowhere to go.
Yeah, luckily both drivers don't get any damage, really. Sean, I mean, he barely touched the 43. And there you see the 81 behind him getting loose and turning down on turn 1. Probably would have been a caution or at least another car around if the caution hadn't come out on the front stretch. But, Shad, this is that one caution you were talking about where they could use 1 or 2 cautions to make this a one-stop race. We've got a couple guys down pit road right now. The 42, 43, and 9 all came down pit road that time, probably to get gas.
I think the pay window is open. I think you can make it pitting here, whether or not your tires can last this long and cautions don't continue to come out. But if this was to go green, I'm pretty sure those guys that just came down could make it to the end, where the rest of these guys might not be able to.
Well, we'll try to find Wesley Jeanette and try to bring him up and talk to our Field Up Motorsports driver in the 74. Wesley, you got a copy of this? Shadilek and Swats in the booth.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
What's going on? You're up front. Looking good in the 74. You had some contact early in the race. You got into the front, now leading. You got the driver who led the entire first half of the race behind you now. How is your car feeling, and can you compete with these guys up front and grab a second win this season?
Yeah, car's feeling pretty good. He's got a little fresher tires than me, but I think I can hold him off a little bit longer. But yeah, no pressure, just riding around, having a little more fun when you don't have anything to worry about. So, or don't got to worry about points too much, even though I'd like to be in the top 4. But just make the most of this last race, see what we can do.
No, Wesley, obviously, like you said, you're not in the top 4 battling for the championship, unfortunately, but you do have a chance at least finishing 5th, getting that better payout. So we're glad to see you here, at least, still finishing out the season. You're up front, your tires are a little older now. Have you learned anything being out here so far, halfway through this race on how to get the speed that the 31, the 3, and the 2 seem to have?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm quite there yet. I'm trying to just run a particular line that I think will pay off if we could ever get some green flag in. So I don't know if I got the speed those guys have. They're a lot younger than me. They got those fast twitch going on. I'm almost 50, so but I'll do what I can with them.
Well, we definitely appreciate you coming out tonight and racing, and your other 2 teammates in Field Up Motorsports. You guys representing all the way through the season. I like to see guys who start a season and finish the season all the way through, whether they're in the championship 4 or not. So I appreciate you guys showing up, and it looks like it might pay off for maybe you if you can come up here and get another trophy and get that win.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, we were definitely committed to seeing this thing through. So had a lot of fun this year. A lot of fun with you guys and everybody in here. So we'll see how it comes out in the end. Hopefully we'll be up there with you for an interview.
All right, Wesley, we'll send you back down to your teammates there, and good luck in that 74.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Chad, he seems to think that he's got the same speed, kind of, that he's figured out something in a different line. He's running in that 3rd groove that we were talking about, where Cole was running down the bottom line, and a lot of guys are running the 2nd to 3rd groove. So I don't know if he's figured out something maybe to conserve a little bit of tire. His tires are a little older than Cole's, but Cole's going to start right behind him, or right below him. Chris Murphy's going to start right behind the leader. And then Tyler Belanger's up here in the 3rd spot, right behind Cole Martin. Nick Gowan, Chad, all the way up to 6th spot. and Ryan Crooks down to or up to 8th spot.
Yeah, everyone in the field right now definitely wants to see Wesley be able to hang on to this lead. Gets a decent jump, but Cole Martin's almost underneath him as they go into turn 1. I think Cole running that lower line should get side by side, but I don't think he'll get it on exit, as you see Wesley right there just roll through the center and get great launch going down the backstretch. Going to hang on to P1. Chris Murphy going to hang on to P3 right now. We're going to try to bring Nick Gowan with him. Nick Gowan battling that 88 of Tyler Belanger right now for 4th place, as those two are side by side. Then behind them, another battle for P5, or 6 behind them, with a side by side of Ryan Crooks and Sean Walton-Kurt back up here, fighting even after that little bit of a touch with Sammy Harrell. But up front, Kurt, the lead is getting tighter. Only about a car length lead right now for Wesley Jeanette.
And all 4 of our playoff drivers are in the top 8, Chad. 3 of them are in the top 5 or top 3 here. So, no, sorry, top 5. So, definitely stacking up here at the front. You know these guys want it. We're in the second half of the race. We're 75 laps to go now at Iowa. We've had 8 cautions, 7 due to incidents. Murphy looks really high on the track. Belanger's right there trying to run the second line. Ryan Crooks going around on the outside of the 88 in the 3rd and 4th groove. So Cole Martin running the bottom, Chris running the 2nd or 3rd groove, Belanger running the 2nd groove, and Ryan Crooks running like 4th line kind of. And now he dives down to the bottom.
Wesley Jeanette running the high line on both ends of the track, able to hold off Cole Martin right now. Actually pulled a little bit on that last lap. Cole Martin was looking underneath. I thought he was going to get the pass made being on those fresher tires, but Wesley Jeanette up there in the high line, able to hold that momentum down the straightaways and making it very difficult for Cole Martin to get by him, even though Cole Martin's tires are a lot fresher. But we got a car loose coming on exit. That's Sean Walton, able to hang on to it. No caution, no one touching him as well. But Kurt up front, still Wesley Jeanette riding that high line, holding off Cole Martin.
Yeah, well, you might want to look in the rearview mirror because Nick Gowan's coming. He is now up to 3rd, and he is running the same kind of line that Cole's running. He might be running about a half car off the bottom from where Cole's
Chris
running.
Murphy snaps loose on exit of turn 4, takes out Ryan Crooks as well.
That's 2 playoff drivers. And Chris Murphy is going to have to use a fast repair as his car is smashed on the front. No front bumper on that car. Ryan Crooks.
Yeah, Ryan Crooks going to have to use fast repair as well.
Yeah, no hood. I think it's the first time I've seen no hood on the car. I'll go back and take a look at this one as it takes 2 playoff drivers to pit road. All right, we're on with Chris Murphy now. So Chris is coming into turns, and he's on the bottom. You can see him hit the bumps a little bit. Comes out of the corner on the back to the back stretch. Still good here. Goes into turn 3. You can hear Ryan Crooks' car coming up behind him. Chris coming out of the corner. You can see it already started sliding. Snaps on him. Goes right into the wall. Ryan Crooks nowhere to go. Already on the gas. And runs right into Chris Murphy. Chris Murphy going to have to use fast repair. Same with Ryan Crooks.
Yeah, definitely. Both of those cars have a ton of damage. And, Murphy getting back on the gas, and it just snaps on him. Tries to save it, but, these cars, once you overcorrect just the slightest bit, it just snaps that car to the outside wall. And Ryan Crooks looked like he was getting a little loose as well, but was able to hang on to it. And just when Chris went sideways in front of him, just nowhere to go. Hits Chris with a ton of speed, lifts the 7 car actually up in the air. Both cars receiving a ton of damage. No one else involved. Wesley Jeanette, though, Kurt, going to give up the lead and come down and take those tires now. But it looks like the 2 of Ryan Crooks, Kurt, actually stayed out. I'm not sure about that call with the amount of damage he has on that. I'm not sure if he knows that.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows he's missing a hood or not, but he should, because you'd think you can see the hood from the driver's seat. So Well, maybe he doesn't because I can't see it from where I'm sitting. All I can see is the two pieces sticking out. So maybe he doesn't
You
know.
can tell it's missing. It's definitely, you can tell it's missing. So not sure what the plan here is unless he's already used the fast repair somehow.
I didn't think he did.
Oh, he just said over race comms, Tyler Belanger was saying, Crooks, I don't know if you know or not, but you have a ton of damage. And Ryan said, yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can grab Ryan real quick and talk to him. Ryan, you got a copy of this? Is Watson Shadowlike in the booth?
Hey, I got you.
All right, bud. You're a playoff driver. You're out here running. You're in the front. I don't know if you know, but you are missing your entire front hood. It is gone. We were a little surprised there to see you not come down pit road. What's the strategy call here? Because you got us kind of thrown off here.
Yeah, missing a whole clip. Unfortunately, got a beautiful paint job on it this week, and yeah, I think my magic number was like between 100 to 110. Pace it where we're getting cautions. If I'm super slow, I'll just hang on until probably a caution during that time frame. We'll come down, throw a fast repair on it, put some tires on it. I think this is going to be all about track position here at the end, and how fresh your tires are. So I think it's just going to be, you know, if it works out in your favor and you have tires and you have the track position. I was kind of surprised that Cole was unable to get by. I think that was Wesley up front running the high line, and he might end up getting by him at some point, but you know, Wesley did a good job of holding him off using the high line. So they came down to take tires. We're gonna just, you know, wait and see. Next caution, maybe we go 10, 15 laps, let them try to burn some of the goodness off those Eagle Feel Goods, and then we'll come down and do a new front clip on, and we'll get back out here and try to raise some hell.
Well, you are missing the right fender, hood, and front bumper is damaged. So
A little bit more than the front clip.
yeah.
Not down on power, believe it or not. I'm sitting here kicking it in, still good on power.
Well, you're probably getting plenty of air to cool that engine down. So
hopefully it can cool the brakes off or something. The front tires, I don't know. These cars are a handful tonight. This is probably one of the more challenging setups I've ran at a track. But it's, you know, it's still a lot of fun though. It's, you're, you know, barely trying to crack throttle mid-corner, and just got to be so easy on entry to center. It just wants to spin out on you. So a lot of fun. Hopefully we stay out of the way here. So we'll see.
any last words for the two of Ryan Crooks yet?
Hope it still turns.
We'll find out in about 30 seconds.
Hopefully the wheel is straight.
Yeah, Will feels good or how it came down. Will's great. I just don't know arrow-wise what we got, but we'll find out.
All right, well, I'll send you back down to Splash Brothers Racing, and good luck on this. Not quite a modified, but close enough.
Thanks, boys.
Yeah, shit, I'm really surprised he didn't come down pit road. I know he said he's got a point or a number that he's looking at for laps, but that's surprising. But we're back underway. It looks like the car is turning, Chad, and he does break away from the field. He gets a little bit of a gap. It looks like it's not, you know, losing power or nothing. So maybe this is a good strategy for him. But like, hey, I'm already missing pieces. I don't want to use the fast repair already. If I can make it, you know, another 50 laps, maybe he's fine.
Yeah, I don't know with how hard he hit Chris Murphy. I cannot believe it.
It didn't break nothing.
Toe leg.
Yeah.
But hey, if it's still turning, got good power, everything else is cosmetic.
And he's the fastest car on track.
You know, my only concern about not pitting was if he's slow and this thing stays green, what then? But you know, right now, you know, good to go as far as speed. Open up quite a bit of gap right now over that 88 machine of Tyler Belanger.
He's the fastest car on the track 2 laps in a row.
The thing is, if this thing stays green, I don't know if he can make it to where everybody else, I believe, is going to be able to make it for sure.
I think what he's saying is he'll come down later on if there's another caution and then fix it. He didn't want to blow the fast repair this early, I guess, is what he was saying.
True, but if there is no caution and you cannot make it, that's the only problem I see. And then also, you know, if there's a caution with, say, 20 to go, you pit then, yeah, you're going to have fresher tires, but you give up all that track position. And we've seen the older tires be able to hold guys off. So Not sure what's going to happen there. I see the 71 Kurt Papa Bear Campbell slow on the front stretch. Still going, though. No caution. But definitely lost a ton of positions. I see also now the 81 John Osborne slow out of turn 2. No caution as well, and he gets it back going.
Yeah, I think he's just counting on the caution because we've had so many already. We've had 8 incident cautions. We got 60 laps to go. I think he's feeling like, hey, if I can make it another 50 laps or 40 laps before having to use that fast repair, then he's good to go. Well, he said 110 laps into the race. He's at 101. So another 9 laps, and then he's good to go to the end. I don't know. I mean, fuel-wise, it looks like a lot of guys took pits 10 laps ago, so they should be able to make it.
To go.
Sammy Harrell pit 23 laps ago, so that would be 74 laps for fuel. He should be
Ryan
close.
Pit, how many laps ago?
Ryan pit 34 laps ago.
So that puts him at 83 laps on in this run, or 93 laps.
Yeah, I think he's just counting on another caution.
Yeah, I don't believe even with the caution laps he can make it.
No, I think he's just
maybe-
counting on it to then come down pit road.
Yeah, but we get spread out and this thing goes green.
I think he's counting on it not going green, where he can pick guys off before a caution comes out, especially when they restack like that. I think that's what he's counting on. I mean, it's a bold strategy, but we'll see if
It's
it pays
bold
off. for him.
strategy, Cotton.
He has 5 wins this season. He's, leading the points throughout the playoffs. He's a playoff driver going for the championship. I guess he knows what he's doing. But he has opened up a 1.5 seconds or more gap, 2-second gap over second place. Cole Martin is coming through the field. He's now up to 3rd. Nick Gowan right on his trail, coming up into 4th as well. Cole Martin now working on the bottom of Belanger. Cole Martin is running 24.682s, and Ryan Crooks is running 24.4s.
Oh,
And he's by himself. but
also I had to go through traffic, so
Yeah.
we'll see what Cole does now this time as he does get up to P2 all alone now. He's only got to run down that 2 of Ryan Crooks, so see
Yeah.
what kind of lap time Cole Martin runs this lap here and see if he's faster than our leader or not.
Well, he is faster by about 5/100ths. Oh, and caution's
caution
out.
is out.
And that is
And
not
it's
what
a
Ryan Crooks wanted to
74
see.
Wesley Jeanette.
I don't think Ryan wanted to see that this early. I think he wanted to keep that. But we'll back it up here and look at Wesley Jeanette, as that's going to restack the field, which is not what Ryan Crooks wanted, because now Cole Martin and Nick Gowan are going to be right on his tail. We're watching Wesley Jeanette as he comes out of turn 4, goes across the start-finish line. Got the 10 of Sean Walton right behind him. Wesley goes into turn 1 and 2. And same thing we've been seeing all night. Rear end comes around. He makes contact with Sean Walton. Sean Walton keeps it going and makes another contact to the right or left front of Wesley Jeanette. And Wesley Jeanette goes around and brings out the caution.
Yeah, unfortunately, Wesley just gets loose, and Sean Walton once again.
And Ryan comes down pit road.
Yeah, Sean Walton once again in the wrong place at the wrong time, just nowhere to go. And, gets caught up in that. Nothing major, though, as far as damage on his end. But
Ryan
Crooks
does
gonna
bring
come
Tyler
down.
Belanger down.
Yeah, so they'll have, quite a few laps fresher, but they're going to have to make a ton of positions to get back up there fighting. And now it has left Cole Martin and Nick Gowan up front. And we've seen those two on the long run, even on older tires, be able to hang on to the lead. And
Yeah, they just
don't
ran
know.
70 laps to clinch the stage. He's run 17 so far. There's 53 to go. So
That's
he's got the
70 laps.
exact same that he did in the first half. So yeah, I mean, Ryan did pit earlier than the stage break during one of the cautions, which put him towards the back. I wonder what would have happened if he'd have been at the front, if Cole and Nick would have survived to the end, if Ryan would have been at the front to begin with them without pitting.
Yeah, I don't know, but now Ryan gonna have to go to the back, towards the back, and gonna have to work over the next 50 laps, probably trying to get back by all these cars and get up there with Cole Martin, who I think right now it seems to be the guys that have the speed to battle for this championships. Cole Martin and that 2 of Ryan Crooks. But, you can't count out Chris Murphy still hanging around the top 5, and Tyler Belanger also went down and put fresh tires. So Tyler Belanger is going to try to make a charge to the field as well to try to get himself a championship and make that check out to himself.
And makes the check out and doesn't have to send the trophy nowhere. But Cole Martin's out front with Nick Gowan, his teammate, on his rear end again. Nate Mon up to 3rd. Johnny D back up into the top 5, sitting 4th right now. Sean Walton still sitting 5th. Chris Murphy 6th. Austin Walton 7th. Papa Bear Campbell up to 8th, Chad. Tyler Taylor up to 9th. And Ryan Crooks will be back there in 10th on fresh tires. And a rebuilt car.
I don't know if I'd have rebuilt it. It's running
Well,
that good.
He actually didn't. He did not use his fast repair. He's still missing a hood, but he did put a right fender on it. So
Yeah, I don't think I'd use it if it still had that much speed. I would hang on to it. You never know.
yeah, he did not
You
use
blow
the
a
fast
quarter
repair.
or break a tie rod. You're going to definitely need the fast repair there, and the car still had speed, so I don't think I would have used it either.
I'm surprised, but yeah. Go down and I'll bring up Nick Gowan. Nick, you got a copy of this with Swatsa and Shadowlike in the booth.
Yeah, we got you.
All right, Nick, you're sitting 2nd. You've been really, really fast. You've been following your teammate there who's fighting for the championship. You, in my eyes, were the championship contender this season, but obviously you had to miss due to outside of racing stuff. And you've been back for the last couple races. You here for the championship run. Are you here to grab another trophy, or are you here to help your teammate?
If the opportunity presents itself,
You wreck your grandmother?
no, I'm gonna give Cole every opportunity to earn it. But I mean,
He doesn't
not gonna
necessarily
let-
have to win the race to win the championship. So
that's fair. So if he's in a good spot and I don't have to worry about him losing the championship, then maybe I'll try to go for the win. But I mean, of course, every racer wants to win. That's the goal at the end of the day. But he is a teammate, and that kind of takes priority. So.
Or you better get him sent back down. We're coming through 3 and 4.
yep, send him back down to your teammates. Good luck, Nick.
Thanks.
All right, Chad. So you heard him there. He said he would give Cole every opportunity to go win the championship. But I feel like if the other guys are not close to you two and you two are separated, I feel like you go for the win.
That is true. And, Nick Gowan, if he could pass him here and Cole Martin runs 2nd, what's the difference?
Well, the
either way,
difference is
Cole Martin
Nick
would win
wins.
it. Yeah, the only difference is Nick wins the race and Cole still wins the championship. So,
And Cole doesn't get that first win of the season either.
yeah, Cole.
Does he Daniel Hemrick it tonight and get that first win?
He could. He's had chances. He's been fast at a ton of tracks and just has not had the luck or the strategy or, just something happens at the end and he does not win the race. But it would be something to, be that fast all year long and not get a win until the championship race that wins you the championship. But, still a long way to go, Kurt. 48 laps. He's got Ryan Crooks trying to make a charge up with that busted up looking car with new tires on it, and Tyler Belanger also one of those ones that put fresh tires on it, making his way back up into the top 10 as well. Chris Murphy sitting in 7th right now for the number 7 car. Murphy still looks to be struggling a little bit, Kurt, and I can't put my finger on it whether or not it's driving in too deep still or just maybe getting on the throttle too quickly, but just not the speed in that 7 car so far tonight.
I think, like a lot of guys, he's just not comfortable with this track. But obviously Cole Martin, even though he says he hates this track and he's not comfortable with it, obviously he's good on it. Nick Gowan, same. Ryan Crooks, though, Chad, coming through the field, is all the way up to 4th already after pitting, and now takes 3rd from Nate Mon. And he is coming on fresh tires, about 19 lap fresher tires than the front 2.
Yeah, so a little bit less of an advantage he had before, but now he's got more laps and he's closer to them to work on them over these next 44 laps. It's going to be a fight. I think Nick Gowan is going to maybe have to realize he can't win the race, but he can definitely make it really hard on Ryan Crooks to get around him, and maybe that'll allow the 31 to build up enough of a gap. But Kurt, I mean, we still have a long way to go. These guys are struggling still to get around here. We see the 42 of Johnny D slow getting into turn one, so not sure what happened to Johnny, but Kurt, a caution definitely could easily tighten this field back up.
Yeah, I mean, cautions are what brought Cole Martin and Nick Gowan back into this, because Ryan Crooks was far out by about 2.5, almost 3 seconds over the field, and he was looking pretty good, even though he was missing some parts on the car, and he still is missing some parts on the car. He's missing the hood, and he has worked his way all the way back up to third and is now closing in on the back bumper of Nick Gowan.
Yeah, Nick Gowan trying to run the same line that Ryan Crooks, but Ryan Crooks, Kurt, cuts it down.
Gets
enters
underneath
high,
him.
cuts down, gets underneath the three. Nick Gowan, though, going to have to try to hold him off on that high line, but it looks
I
like
don't think it's
Ryan.
going to happen.
Yeah, Ryan's going to. Oh, and the 31's slow, Kurt.
31 got loose.
Yeah,
And the 2 goes back to the front on fresh tires,
Two clears him.
with no hood. Wow.
And 31 really loose, going through 1 and 2, going to lose. And caution.
Wow.
I think if I'm the 3 and the 31, you got to come down and put tires on. You see how quickly Ryan Crooks on those fresher tires just got around you.
Yeah, he just laid down the fastest lap time of the race 2 laps ago, and it was the fastest lap that time. We'll take a look back to see what brought out this caution tonight. And I want to say it was maybe Tyler Taylor that was off. Johnny D was also involved, but we'll take a look at those guys. All right, so here's Johnny D. Johnny D's back here in the back. He gets loose, snaps it, hits the wall. And that brings out the caution there. Tyler Taylon looks like he might have gotten loose and snapped into the wall the next turn. Yeah, he does. So 2 guys, 2 different corners towards the back do the same exact thing. Oh, and Papa Bear gets collected in that. As Tyler Taylon's coming down the track, Papa Bear runs right into the door. But Shad, this is going to be a rack 'em and stack 'em again with 39 laps to go in Velocity Motorsports Championship finale tonight at Iowa. Ryan Crooks doing it with no hood. And it looks like Nick Gowan and Cole Martin must have heard you, Shad, as they come down pit road.
Yeah, and so did the 88 of Tyler Belanger came down again. You know, Cole Martin and Nick Gowan saved those extra sets of tires by not pitting the entire first stage. So they got those tires. You might as well use them if you got them. Now that the rules are reversed, they have about, 17, 18 lap fresher tires than Ryan Crooks. But now they lost the track position. Going to have to come up through the field to get there. It looks like they're going to be, I don't know what, the 13th
about
position.
11th, 12th, somewhere in there. 13th.
Yeah, so they're going to have about 36 laps to get there. Maybe going to need a caution or so to group the field back up. But if they can get there, then they're going to have the advantage on the tires. So Ryan's going to have to make sure this thing maybe stays green and he can build up the lead to where these 2 cannot run him back down.
Yeah, if it stays green, I think he has a good chance of running away with it.
Yeah, and Cole and Nick going to have to be smart here. They cannot, overextend their car, drive it in too deep, or get on the gas too soon and wreck themselves trying to get, up there. They're still going to have to drive a smart race and just know that the tires will get them there, not so much getting onto the throttle or driving in too deep.
Well, we've got 38 laps to go. We'll have 37 when they cross the line this time, 36 when we go back green. Ryan Crooks is your current leader with Sammy Harrell to his outside, Nate Mon behind the leader. Wesley Jeanette also back up here towards the front. Nathan Line now up here. Sean Walton up in 6th. John Osborne in 7th. Chris Murphy, the second playoff driver, is in 8th. 9th would be Austin Walton in the 9. And then Cole Martin in 10th with Nick Gowan in 11th. Tyler Belanger in 12th. Those 3 guys just stopped and put fresh tires on. They are good to go on fuel for sure. Tires, if we get into the caution at about 15, 20 laps, Chad, do you come down? You'll have about 15 to go at that point.
Yeah, it would reverse the roles, but I just don't think there's enough laps at that point to march back through the field without caution help to group it back up. But
We've seen the caution's been helping guys all race so far.
yeah, I mean, it's helping those guys with the newer tires, to group the field back up, and then they pick off a few. Then, the caution comes out and they group the field back up. But, we'll have to see. But, if I'm Nick Gallen, Cole Martin, looks like they're going to start 10th and 11th. They're going to need to run a handful of laps, get by some guys, and then maybe the caution come back up to group them back up, and then I think they definitely have a chance.
Well, we're coming off turn 2 with the pace car. Ryan Crooks out front, no hood. That is not a error on screen. He has no hood on that car. Has not used the fast repair tonight. Has been holding on to it. I don't see him coming down pit road again, Chad, unless maybe if we run another 15 laps, that would put 20 to go. Maybe he pits then and hopes for another caution or two if he can do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the longest green flag runs, what, 25, 30 laps, I think?
Yeah.
So it'll be close, but pace car is going to duck on down. We'll do this another time here. Ryan Crooks and Sammy Harrell going to the restart zone. Ryan Crooks on the gas pedal first as he goes through the start-finish line going into turn 1. Gets a giant jump, Shad, over Sammy Harrell. Nate Mon now underneath Sammy Harrell for second place. Wesley Jeanette on the outside with 2 wide behind him with Sean Walton and Nathan Line. 2 wide of Nick Gowan. Nick Gowan flying. Gets past multiple cars and jumps all the way to 6th, Chad, and now fighting for 5th this early in 1 lap. Chris Murphy up on the wall.
Yeah, 38 of Nathan Line got into Chris Murphy and actually sent him up into the wall. Murphy, though, looked like he might have been able to stay off it. Not sure if there was any contact, but moved Murphy back down a handful of positions. Gonna definitely hurt his chances, but Nick Gowan, Cole Martin moving up through the
Walton's
field.
loose.
Sean Walton gets loose, saves it. Now John Osborne loose and Chris Murphy loose down on the apron. Both by the entrance of pit road. No caution. They both get it back going.
Yeah, that's definitely going to hurt with no caution, but I'm sure Ryan Crooks is smiling underneath that helmet saying, please, no caution, as he has built out to about a 2nd lead right now over Nathan Mon. And Nathan Mon under fire from Wesley Jeanette, battling for 2nd with Nick Gowan stalking these 2 right now, looking for trying to take both positions.
Yeah, but Nick Gowan and Cole Martin are definitely closing in on our leader. Once they get around these next 2 cars, then it's open fire on Ryan Crooks. So Ryan Crooks needs to keep building that lead, but don't burn your stuff off because there's still a ton of laps to go to get to the end. But, Wesley Jeanette loose in the wall. That's going to slow him up and slow up to 21. That allows Cole Martin and Nick Gowan to get both by them easily. Now they have their... Oh, Nathan Mon loose through turns 1 and 2, Kurt.
And he's down to the infield.
No caution. No.
Back out on the track he goes. Ryan Crooks still hoping no caution comes out, and he has stretched the lead out to about a 2.5 seconds. And Nick Gowan now is the fastest car on track, sitting in 2nd. Cole Martin sitting 3rd. Gap is closing back down now under a 2nd.
Yeah, the 2 teammates, Kurt, of Nick Gowan and Cole Martin, going to have to work together to try to wrangle in this lead. They're definitely closing in on 29 laps. I don't know if Ryan's got the pace to be able to hold it off, but getting to somebody is one thing. We've seen it really hard for some of the guys to pass guys on older tires, even though their tires are fresher. So it's going to take a move, but they are definitely reeling in Ryan Crooks right now. And everyone's kind of getting a little separated, Kurt. So the chances of contact making a caution, you're going to probably need a guy to spin out on his own and that bring out the caution.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, Chad, this is about the time frame in the next 8 laps that I said. If a caution does come out, Ryan Crooks would come down pit road, use that fast repair maybe, throw the four tires on, and come back out and try to battle back through the field just like Nick and Cole do. I'm wondering, Chad, if Nick and Cole would then also come down pit road to put themselves on the same set of tires as Ryan so they're not off cycle with him and, battle it out from there.
You definitely could. I mean, we've seen how quickly Nick Gallen and Colton Martin went through the field. And the lead is still trimming down a little bit, but the lap times aren't, that far off. But, right now it looks to be Nick Gallen being the pace setter of these two with the fresher tires. Maybe Nick Gallen trying to get up there and get in the lead and then let his teammate get up to that two as well, and those two battled out. But still 25 laps to go, a long way to go for that two machine to get that championship. And the lead still kind of hovering right around 1.5 seconds right now between him and the next championship contender, which is Cole Martin.
Yeah, Ryan does not have to win this race, so I almost feel like, does he put up a fight with Nick?
Oh, 3 of Nick Gallen getting loose. And he pulls over and lets his buddy go. So take Nick Gallen out of it.
Okay, now Ryan's got to go. He's got to stay in front of Cole Martin and hope that no caution comes out. If this thing gets caught, if we get a caution now and they get restacked, I don't know. Oh, somebody sounded like they're on the wall or something on my screen. And
caution is out.
I think it's Murphy. It is Murphy.
I think it's a 71. 71 of Papa Bear Campbell as well.
Yeah, Murphy's got some heavy damage to the rear end. We'll look at Papa Bear there. I think the 7 started this. Goes into the corner.
Ooh.
And rear end starts to come out on him. Comes across the infield, comes back up the track right into Papa Bear.
Oh. And everybody pretty much coming down pit road except for Ryan. And Sammy Harrell, it looks like, stayed out as well. This is a big game changer because now they have even fresher tires than that 2 of Ryan Crooks. And they're only going to be, they're going to start up pretty much right behind him. So a huge move right there and strategy call from the 31 and the 3.
Yeah, that was a big call for them, tricking Ryan Crooks. He stayed out. They were able to go down behind and underneath and go into pit road. So this is going to reset the field, Chad. They're only going to be a couple positions behind Ryan Crooks to start this thing, but they're going to be on fresh tires, about 32 lap fresher tires.
Yeah, and about 20 laps to do it. So Ryan right now, to me, is a sitting duck. And, if we were running another 5 of 10 laps, the car should come out. I don't think the fresh tires at that point are going to help him. So Ryan's going to have to do whatever he can, run the high side, get on the gas, and fight this thing out. But he is at a serious disadvantage right now. I don't know if he can do it, Kurt.
Yeah, I feel like Ryan should have thought to come down pit road no matter what that time. It was right when I said if there was 20 laps to go, should he pit and then come back up through the field like the other guys did. They chose to come down. I thought maybe they would go with Ryan, which would set them up right behind Ryan if they all came down pit road. And Ryan stayed out, and those two came down, and everybody else came down, and it reset the field where Ryan is the only one out there on older tires with Sammy Harrell to his outside, both on the same sets. But as far as playoff drivers, he was the only one that stayed out there. Everybody else came down pit road, and they're all lining up behind him.
Yeah, and, Tyler Beelanger coming down and get fresh tires too. So, he could be setting himself up for, maybe a chance at the win. But if not, he could be setting himself up to at least get second in this championship, something that he definitely did not think he was capable of doing.
He said he was an 8th place driver.
Yeah, the 7 of Chris Murphy, though, I do believe his chances of repeating have gone out the window. But, 3 guys still definitely in the fight for this championship.
Chris comes back out on the track, but he is going to be at the back of the field, and I think he's out of tires, Chad.
Well, car looks clean, at least.
Well, he just sat on pit road that entire time, so
Yeah, he's
he
got a
might have
little
got
bit
it
of
straightened
damage
out a little bit.
He's got a little bit of damage on the rear, but the front and the sides look pretty good. I'm not sure how his tires are.
Well, we've got 20 laps to go here. We've got 19 is what we'll go back green, and we'll cap this season off in the series finale here. It's going to be a shootout, Chad. We've got Ryan Crooks in the top 5, Cole Martin in the top 5, and Tyler Belanger in the top 5. 3 of playoff drivers fighting for that trophy, all in the top 5. Our other playoff driver we just mentioned, Chris Murphy, is back in 12th now after being involved in multiple incidents tonight. Do you think we're done having caution, Chad?
You know that thing about does a bear, you know what, in the woods?
Yeah.
Then I would say no. We're not done. I think things have really started to amp up now. We're going to have guys driving in too deep, trying to get where they can. We got the 31 starting behind the 43, Sammy Harrell. They need to quickly get around him because we know Ryan's going to get the jump on this restart. But Ryan's got to get out to as big of a lead as possible because he knows everyone behind him is on fresher tires.
The good thing, too, is Nick Gowan's starting right behind him, so he can jump with him and try to stay with him and try to slow him up to get Cole Martin back there as we go into the restart zone. Ryan Crooks
does not get the jump.
Yeah. And
But
Cole
the
Martin
31
looking low already.
Yeah, Cole Martin trying to get up to P2. Does his teammate hang on his outside? It looks like it. No, Nick Gowan does not get a good exit. Had to get out of the gas. He was almost going to hit the wall. So move the 31 of Cole Martin gets a great start right there, Kurt. But look at Tyler Belanger going 3 wide with Nick Gowan and Sammy Harrell.
Yeah, Tyler Belanger's in this thing. If something happens between Cole Martin and Ryan Crooks, if they get to racing and there's an incident with them, Tyler Belanger's going to be sitting here in the catbird seat. Oh, and
Nick
Cole's a
Gowan
little
right there
loose.
gets really loose and goes up to the wall. Now allows Tyler Belanger to get underneath him. Tyler Belanger, I think, going to clear him here out of turn 4. And I thought Chris Murphy was out of it. Maybe not. He is at the back of the pack. I think he might have quite a bit of damage. But he's still on the lead lap at least. So if these front 3 wreck, I would say Chris has a chance, but it's very small. But what is starting to get really small, Kurt, is the gap between Ryan Crooks and Cole Martin for who's going to win this championship, as those fresher tires starting to make a difference.
Yeah, Cole Martin getting bigger in the rearview mirror of the 2 cars. He is cycling around through these things. We got 15 laps to go now. And Tyler Belanger, I thought, was going to clear Nick Gowan and maybe pull away, but Nick Gowan's battling back with him. He just got underneath him and now gets right behind him again. But Nick Gowan's not over trying to get back up to the front. And Tyler Belanger needs to try to either get up here or hope that something happens. And I think the 31 just touched a wall there, Shad, coming out of its 4. But doesn't slow him down at all.
Just a smidge. But the last time by, Kurt, before that last lap, Cole Martin ran a 24 flat qualifying lap time he just ran.
Fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, and even touching the wall there out of turn 4, he was still a 10th faster than Ryan Crooks. So it's not a matter of if, but when does he get underneath Ryan Crooks. Kurt, 13 laps to go, though. Ryan's still trying to do everything he can and hold on to that lead, but Cole Martin is there.
You could see the bump as Ryan Crooks just went through there. It almost looked like all 4 tires came off the ground. I could have sworn I seen air underneath the tires as they went through there, but Cole Martin closing the gap on 3 and 4 now, right on the back bumper of the 2. He is there. This is Cole's chance to either get into the 2, get off of the 2, get around the 2, whatever he can do to get this championship, and he is there. Shad, he's underneath the 2 now, gets loose. And this opens the door for Tyler Belanger if he can close back in.
He hangs on to it. And
Caution's out. Wow.
9
of Austin Walton.
So I would say round 1 right now to Ryan Crooks, able to hang on to it and force Cole Martin to get on the throttle maybe a little too early and get himself loose. Cole Martin able to hang on to it, though. Great job there. But now it's going to cut the laps down, Kurt. We've seen Cole Martin was definitely faster. It looked like 3 and 4 was definitely the end of the track where those fresher tires really made a difference. Cole Martin just able to roll the center of 3 and 4 so much better and make up so much ground on that 2 machine. But the 2 running the high line, it's going to force Cole Martin to have to get into the throttle either sooner or maybe enter high, cut it down, and get a straight exit and get back onto the throttle sooner that way. But Kurt, this is going to be a fantastic, 8 laps, maybe shootout?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one here. I don't see anybody coming down pit road that's in the battle here. Ryan is at the front. He is trying to hang on to this thing. We'll try to talk to him here for just a second.
No, leave him alone.
You think?
Let him concentrate.
Oh,
Yeah,
come on.
I would let him concentrate. It's pretty nerve-wracking. 1, because of the track. 2, because of what's on the line.
We can talk to Chris then. He's at the back.
Just leave him.
I think we at least give him some airtime since he's at the back. But
He'll get airtime because he's going to finish it. He's going to finish somewhere in the top 4, and make at least that he can say that he was back-to-back, finished in the top 4 with winning one of them, and he gets that thing fixed. These guys wreck here in the closing laps. You never know.
I mean, it is Championship Tuesday, so I would say at this point there is no next week. There is no, let's be nice to each other. It is time to go and grab that championship. Does Cole give the bump to Ryan Crooks? Does Ryan Crooks give the bump to 31? Does Tyler Belanger get in this thing because he's sitting third? Does he give the bump to the 31 or the 2 to claim this championship? I say you go for it.
The biggest problem now is Ryan Crook has no buffer. Like the last restart, he had Sammy Harrell between him and Cole Martin. Now he has nobody. Either he's got to give up the top side or the bottom to that 31 machine. I think if I'm Brooks, I start on the outside and pinch that 31 down, make it hard for him to pass me. I think if he gives him the outside and Cole gets a great start and is hanging on that outside of that 2, I think 31 might be able to get the pass done on the outside.
Oh, it's Cole's got 31 lap fresher tires, so if the advantage is definitely swung to the 31 and the 88, who both are on the same set of tires, and I wouldn't count Nick Gowan out of this thing either, but I almost felt like Ryan should stay on the bottom because Cole's not comfortable riding the top line. He's always been running the bottom line all night. So put him in the uncomfortable spot. Ryan gets the jump. If he can do better than he did on that last restart and actually get the jump, then he takes it into the bottom. But how comfortable is Ryan on the bottom right now with these older tires? And does Cole come off the top, angling down to the bottom behind him and get a big run down the backstretch?
It looks like we're going to go probably double up next time by, so there's only going to be 6 laps to go, Kurt. If Cole's going to make the move, he's got to do it quick. Tyler Belanger right there in third as well could definitely play a part in this. So I don't know, Kurt. It's going to be a quick 6 laps, but definitely an intense final 6 laps, and that's if we don't get another caution.
I was just going to ask you, do you think we're done?
No.
Well, we'll see here as these guys build it back up.
I have a feeling one of these top 3 cars
It's going to wreck out.
Around.
I would say if one doesn't, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
Well, Ryan Crooks just made the move, Kurt, going to take the outside on the restart, going to give that 31 machine his preferred lane. I know Ryan will get the momentum coming off of turn 2, but those tires are pretty old. You're not going to get the greatest of restarts on them bad boys, so he's going to have to nail it. I mean, this is going to have to be one of those great Kyle Busch restarts, I think, if he hangs on to this lead. If they go in side by side through 1 and 2, it's just a matter of time before Cole Martin is finally able to clear him.
I would agree. I think Ryan has to put on one hell of a restart, and probably a restart, the best restart he's ever put on here to really get the jump. I think he has to clear the 31 going into the corner and dive it down in front of him, put some dirty air on him. Cole's not going to move up to the top line. He's going to run the bottom line. That's why I was thinking, you run the bottom line, put him in the uncomfortable spot to where he's on the top line. But if Ryan can get the jump, that's all where it depends. He gets the jump.
He does get the jump, does clear him.
Oh, he's
But
definitely cleared.
6 laps to go. He's got about a 2-car length advantage right now.
He's got to hope Tyler Belanger can get to him, or Nick Gowan can get to Cole Martin. And hope that Nick battles him. But we've already heard Nick say he would help his teammate if it came down to it. So, oh, and Belanger's around.
Belanger saves it. Oh, nope, makes contact with 81, and that wrecks the entire field.
Whoa.
And this hurts the 31's chances, Kurt. It's going to give him even less laps to get up there.
I think if Ryan does exactly what he just did there, gets the jump,
He wins the championship.
I don't
in
see
my
Cole.
eyes.
I don't see Cole getting to him.
This is going to be a green-white checker.
Mm-hmm. And if he hits the white line and a caution comes out, just like it just did in 2 laps, race is over. So I believe Ryan, if he can get the jump. If he does not get the jump, then Cole's got a shot. If Ryan gets the jump going into the corner, I don't know if Cole gets to him. We'll take a look back at Belanger going around, and I'm trying to find it here, and it looks like there's a bunch of people that were involved, so we'll take a look back at Tyler Belanger going around in the final laps. All right, so we're going to ride along with the 88 here. You can see as he goes into the corner, the rear end has already started to kick on him. It's around. He saves it, slides down the track, connects with the 81. 81 goes up the track, connects with the 42. 74 is involved. A few others are going to be involved. There's a lot of drivers involved. It actually doesn't look like the 88 sustained that much damage, Chad. But
Yeah,
he's
not
definitely going to be at the
bad.
back. He would have to hope that Ryan Crooks and Cole Martin wrecked in turn 1.
Yeah.
But it still comes down to Ryan Crooks and Cole Martin. Shout out here. I think Ryan takes the top line again. Cole Martin takes the bottom. Nick goes to the top behind Ryan Crooks. And then Sammy Harrell's going to squeak up into this thing, Shad. And he's been a little bit of a wild card going for the win. So he's not here for a championship. He's not here for a payout. He's not here for playoff points. He is here for just trophy hunting.
I hope Sammy knows the situation and knows what those 2 cars up front are going for. And I get it, he wants to win, but don't have any kind of, indication or dictation of how this thing finishes. Let these 2 battle it out at this point. I think even Nick Gowan's at that point to where he's not going to help decide the outcome of this race.
I think Nick might help his teammate.
I don't think so. I think he would help him with, trying to hold
Sammy's
guys
coming down
up.
pit road. Nope, swings back out.
No.
It's a good thing iRacing doesn't throw penalties when you go down pit road like that.
Yeah.
Because I think in real life, you can't go below the orange line and come back up, right?
No, that'd be a commitment cone
Yeah.
violation.
I seen somebody do that earlier, too, so I think it was Ryan, actually. But we're going to just rack them and stack them and do it hopefully one more time, Shad. We got green, white checker coming out. Top 2 are the playoff 2 drivers that are battling for the championship. The other 2 in the playoff hunt are at the back in 10th and 12th. So it's pretty much going to come down to Ryan Crooks and Cole Martin, who wants it the most, who will give the bump, who will give the block, anything to do to get that championship, get the trophy, and get that top payout. I feel like we've asked the question 1,000 times, do you wreck a guy to win the race during the regular season, during the playoffs? And a lot of the guys say, oh, no, I don't do that. I'm not that kind of racer. Shad, tonight's the finale. It is the championship race. Do you give the bump if you're Cole Martin?
100%, yes. If he wants to be mad at you, he can be mad at you later, but guess what? I'll be holding
He's got
the
2 months
trophy.
to hold on to it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I wouldn't say try to wreck him, but definitely you want to give him a bump, get him out of the gas.
Maybe a little
and
door check while you're going through the corner.
something, look at Denny Hamlin. I didn't touch him.
Yeah, he did.
So do something to give you that chance because, if Ryan gets out to this restart, the only chance I think Cole Martin gets, maybe gets to him, he's going to have to give him the bump, and I think it's going to come through 3 and 4.
I feel like he's going to have to dive it in on him and slide up the track and maybe door him a little bit.
Well, the thing is, you can't dive it in too much because these things get loose on entry. So
yeah, but he seems to be the only one that's been able to dive down to the bottom line without it getting loose like that. He gets loose coming out of the corner. Well, out of turn 4, pace car down. Restart zone is where we're at. Ryan Crooks gets on the gas pedal first, gets the good jump. Nick Gowan.
Cole Martin does not get a jump at all. Not sure if he missed a shift or what, but that's going to allow Ryan Crooks to open up to about a 4-car length lead.
And back stretch we go.
Yeah, he's going to have to reel him in a ton these next couple laps.
He tries the high line as Ryan Crooks goes to the bottom line. Ryan Crooks coming across the line with the white flag in the air. Shad, 1 lap to go in the championship finale for Velocity Motorsports Season 2 Next Gens. And Ryan Crooks through 1 and 2, Shad, still has a gap, about a half-second gap over Cole Martin as they come down the backstretch one more time.
Cole is not going to be able to get
not
there.
Close enough. He is not there. Ryan Crooks out of turn 4, coming to the finish line. Checker flag in the air, and Ryan Crooks will be your Season 2 champion for Velocity Motorsports, walking away with the win, his 6th win of the season, Chad.
Yeah, Ryan Crooks comes away with the championship. Cole Martin, unfortunately, finishes up runner-up. Then you got Tyler Belanger, Kurt, going to finish 3rd in the championship. Chris Murphy coming home 9th tonight, but the 4th in the championship. The guy with the most wins, Kurt, came in with the most points in the playoffs, and struggled, I would say during these playoffs, but comes away tonight with a busted-up race car. And still
wins it with no hood.
Thing.
Yeah, this thing is crazy here. I can't believe he did it, but that is our winner. That is our champion. So we'll go to the winning burnout and be right back. All right, we're back here for Velocity Motorsports season finale in Championship Season 2, Next Gen, and it's going to go to Ryan Crooks tonight being the winner and the champion. Ryan, you did it tonight without a hood on the car. You missed a right front fender at one point. It looks like it's duct taped on there because I still see it banged up a little bit there, but you come away with the win tonight. You come away with the championship. You get the 3-foot trophy and the payout. How does it feel to get the championship, and how did you bring it home there?
Yeah, it feels really good. First time I've ever won a league championship, and I've raced a couple of them, so this is big. I've tried really hard to win one of these, so really excited to win. Yeah, this is a crazy year. You know, started out lagging out at Texas, and ups and downs and getting in accidents. The last month has been absolutely terrible for me on the racetrack. So yeah, just I can't believe I won this one. I loaded into the practice session, and the cars were just, I mean, a handful to drive. I couldn't believe it. I saw the time Cole put down, and I was like, I'm just going to have to find something. I can't believe this time. And qualified pretty good. Couldn't believe that, but just couldn't never really find the speed, the raw speed to go up and pass Gowan or Cole. And midway through the run there, yeah, probably, I don't know, lap 75, 80, somewhere in there. Was behind Murph, and Murph got a little loose coming out of 4. Got in the wall, and I couldn't turn down fast enough, and knocked the whole front bumper off, fender off, hood bunched up. And I was like, oh, I'm probably done. I was like, well, I'm just gonna ride it out 10, 15 laps and then come down and use a fast repair. And then I restarted, and I went off in the first corner. I went to get back to the gas, and I was like, man, it's not trying to turn around on me. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I go down to 3 and 4 harder, and I get back to the gas earlier just to see if it was, just a one-time thing or what the deal was. And man, I could just get back to the gas and stand all the way on at full throttle. And I knew at that point, I was like, oh, it's going to be hard to beat me. And I was just kind of keeping an eye on them as they were coming through traffic. And once they got to second and third, I was still pulling away on exit. And so just tried to kind of set the strategy up to when I was going to take tires. And I came down lap 110, took tires. And before that, I was probably going to come down lap, probably 135, 140. But I just didn't want to risk it getting back in the pack. And they came down and all pitted, the whole field pitted. And I was like, oh, I'm in trouble. But I knew I could just get back to the gas and commit much harder than them. And that was kind of my saving grace. But Cole ran me down on fresh tires and got up under me. He just couldn't get committed as quick as I could, and he got loose under me. And I tried my best to squeeze him, but knew there's probably gonna be late caution. So just tried to focus on which line I was gonna choose to try to put Cole at the biggest deficit I could, because he could get into the corner so much better than I could, but I could exit better than him. And I just didn't want him to get the outside of me, because I figured he'd probably be able to keep his momentum up enough to clear me on the outside. So yeah, I mean, unbelievable race, unbelievable season, bunch of ups and downs, and just really thankful to bring this one home. This is super awesome, super awesome.
Chad, any questions for our champion and winner tonight?
No questions, just, obviously congrats. I don't think I've ever seen someone win not only a race, but a race that means a championship with their car still being all busted up. So, great job to you. And, yeah, the car looked really good out there missing a hood. Obviously, the engine temps weren't going to be a problem. But, just an amazing job by you being able to hold it up and play the strategy right of when to pit. And, being able to hang it on. Obviously, the help of those cautions helped the laps wind down and give Cole Martin less time to get to you. Maybe if it would have went green, we might have had a heck of a battle between you two, but we'll never know that. So either way, you were up front. You had the speed, and congrats to you tonight on becoming Season 2 champion. And I just got to say, wait until you see the size of that trophy.
I'm super excited. Yeah, about probably an hour and a half before the race started, Tyler sent me a message, and I'd asked him, I was like, because I wasn't sure how the points were coming in tonight, and I was like, hey, is it just whoever finishes higher, or is it still points based? He was like, no, whoever finishes higher. And I was like, all right, bet. And he was like, you just don't have a New Hampshire performance, where I was kind of a wrecking ball. And I was like, no worries. I was like, I'm going to finish with a 0X. I'm not going to have a scratch on this car, just so when they do the race championship diecast, I don't have a scratch on it. And as soon as I hit Murphy and it knocked the front clip off, I was like, oh, there goes that. And then I was like, I'll come down and get a fast repair, but it was faster without it. So, yeah, and I appreciate it. Super excited for the trophy. Got to say, big shout out to my biggest fan, my biggest supporter all year, Mr. John Tiller. Hate that he didn't make it tonight. He supported me all year, and hopefully he's watching. Mr. John Tiller, I appreciate all the motivation from the last 4 weeks. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Big shout out to Tyler B. Both Tylers, Rodney and Race Control. This is an awesome league. Love the format of how everything is. Saw some of the changes for next year. Super excited about that. Congrats to Bellinger for moving, getting a new crib. That's awesome. Moving sucks though, but all in all, thank you guys for all the awesome broadcasts and the excitement you guys bring. You guys' broadcast is just about second to none. So a lot of fun. Thank you guys for everything you do. We did it, baby. Let's go.
Well, I mean, Ryan, I obviously follow you a lot with SMB. I follow you in multiple different series that you run, so I was super excited to see you come over here. I knew the talent level that you were bringing would definitely increase everybody around you, because normally when you're in a league and you're the best guy in the league, and if there's nobody else even close to your talent, it gets boring. It gets bad for the other guys because there's no chance of them beating you when you win over and over and over and over. But I think with you, Nick, Nate Mon coming in, Jovi Ray coming in, and a few others that came in at the same time, Cole Martin, there was a bunch of you that all came in like within the first 2-3 races, and it just shot the level of skill completely up in the league. So definitely appreciate you guys for coming in and racing the way you guys did, and then putting on the shows you guys did every single week. So definitely look forward to season 3, and if you can come back and repeat, you'd be the first repeat, as Chris was not able to get that done tonight. But we'll see you in season 3 and see what you bring to the track.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Yeah, just to note on that, like super slow and just always working, always watching guys in car, like I did tonight with Cole, Tyler B, when they're putting the fast laps down, just, to anybody listening, just hop on people's in-car, cockpit, listen to them when they lift points, when they get back in the throttle, so forth and so on. So, yeah, thank you for that shout out. Thanks, guys, for everything, and we'll be back next year. We're gonna try to go back to back. Jordan 96, 97. Thanks, boys.
All right, we'll bring up second place finisher, and that is Cole Martin. Cole Martin, you are coming home second tonight in the race, second in the playoff points. I know it's got to be a little bittersweet there. You did not get a win this season, but you started later than everybody else in this series. You started, I think, week 3 or week 4 after Ryan and Nick and everybody else was already in here. You worked your way all the way into the playoffs, which I didn't think was even possible, but somehow you pointed your way all the way in. And then throughout the playoffs, you just continually got better throughout the playoff races, getting points, maxing your points with the stage wins you got. You got the most stage wins this season, even getting the stage win tonight. With the caution coming out right there as Ryan was battling you for the lead. I mean, give us a rundown of the race and I guess the overall experience throughout the season, and if you're coming back next season.
Yeah, it was a fun race. I really enjoyed it. Iowa, like I said, one of my favorite tracks, but I just had to get used to it. It was a fun race. It wasn't too bad of a caution race like New Hampshire, which I appreciated a lot. I wish some cautions didn't come out, but they did, and it switched the race up a little bit. And yeah, it's a good race with Crooks there. I thought I had him there on that long run, on that green flag run there, and then I got loose when he pinched me because you just can't put down the throttle down there. And then the caution came out, and I'm like, oh great. So, and we restarted. I didn't get a good start on that first to last restart or something like that, and then the caution came out again. I'm like, okay, I got another chance at it, and I thought I timed the last restart really good, but I screwed myself, and I tried to put it in second gear. It wouldn't go. I just didn't lift off the throttle good enough, I guess, and I missed the shift, and yeah, Brooks got from there, and it sucks, but I really enjoyed this season. It was fun. First next gen league. I didn't know what I was getting into, but this league's awesome. I love it. It's chill. Not much drama at all. Just having fun with some payouts. Brooks bringing home a big old trophy. And he's excited about that. That's what I really wanted, but unfortunately I came up short there.
Well, Cole, obviously, it never feels good finishing second. I know your pain. I had the same experience in the league I finished a month or two ago. You had the car to beat, I think, all night. You led definitely the most laps. And, you were just that off on the strategy of when to pit to where they put Ryan out front. You and Nick down had to work your way up. Then you get there, and I was like, oh, it's over. Like, they're starting right behind them. And, you get close, and you get loose coming out of turn 2. Then the caution comes out, and I'm like, all right, he's got another chance, maybe. And it's just a string of cautions there, and you just never get enough laps to really put those fresher tires to advantage. Looking back now, is pitting when you guys did, is that the issue, or is it just you just needed that race to stay green there at the end to really put those fresh tires to use?
I really don't know how it would have went if that caution came out, if it did or not. I think me and Nick and Nate played the exact strategy we wanted to. I mean, if Ryan pitted there at the end, he put on his tires, I think he had, put us up front and start hitting the back, or if he just stayed out, we still had fresher tires. I thought we played it perfectly there, but Ryan was on a different level of speed tonight with his damage. I guess it helped him a lot turns though. Yeah, it's just, I don't know if anything different would have happened if the screen stayed out, because when I got loose there, he cooked my tires. I don't know if I could have gotten back to him, because once you cook your tires, I feel like get loose, the next 3-4 corners, you're just sliding up the track, just trying to save it. That's how it felt for me, at least. And yeah, just a great season. I had a lot of fun. I mean, probably one of the best leagues I've been in, top 3 at least, from the ones I've ran. And yeah, just thanks for y'all, the broadcasting, and Tyler for putting on this league, Nate, Joby, Nick, Logan, Jake, everyone that's supported me and just supported this league. It's been a good run, and I don't know if I'll be back for next season or not. It just depends with my job. I don't know if I'll be able to. It just depends on the hours. So I'm hoping to get back next season, try to get that title, but who knows.
Cole, we definitely appreciate you coming in. Like I said, coming in a little late into the season, you were able to do everything you did and get here to the finale and have a chance to win it. So definitely appreciate you, and definitely appreciate the skill and talent you brought to the track for the shows that you put on. Hopefully you can make it back for next season. I think you'd be a front runner right there with Ryan Crooks, Nick Gowan, and a couple others, with Cole Martin and
It is Cole Martin.
yeah, you being Cole Martin. So being 4 or 5 of you guys that were just above and beyond some of the others. But when there's good talent here, it brings in other good talent. So and we'll see if other guys can pick it up. Usually when you have good talent in a league, a lot of guys will pick it up and be better. So the driving gets better and better as there's more drivers that are better in here, and you're definitely one of them. So definitely appreciate you being here, and we'll catch you at some other league or next season if you're able to make it.
All right, thank y'all. I appreciate every one of y'all.
All right, we'll bring up third place finisher, and that's Sammy Harrell. Sammy, you come in the 43 tonight in the Massage Envy paint scheme. You were started up towards the front. You finished up towards the front, and had some excitement with some issues on track. The track was slippery all over the place, it seemed like. So congratulations on bringing home third. Give us a little rundown of your race.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I overdrove it a few times, but you definitely had to drive the cars, man. And those two guys, Ryan Cook and Crooks and Cole, they were fast. I just appreciate Tyler B letting me come in and join in the last 2 races of the season. Once I finished my league, I enjoy racing with them fellas. Raced with them last season in another league that I left, but it's fun. Drove the wheels off the car, I can tell you that.
Well, Sam, at the beginning of the race, you started up close to the front. I seen you go jump to the outside. You worked your way all the way up to P2, almost to the outside for first place. Then you hit those bumps that you had hit before, and it just completely upset the car. Get you sideways, and so a couple other drivers ran into the back of you when you saved it. Then we see through the mid part of the race, we're still close up there. and you got one heck of a run there on the last lap there coming out of turn 4 and almost got all the way up to P2. You know, how was it up there riding the high side? You were one of the few actually up there taking on the bumps. Just how treacherous was it tonight riding through turns 1 and 2?
Well, turn 1 and 2, if you hit the bumps just right, if you can set your tires right on the seam just right, they actually help you. They'll push you up towards the wall, and you can turn the car back down the track. But I hit it the wrong way at one time, and it absolutely just, there was nothing I could do. I tried to save it. Shouldn't have tried to save it, to be honest, and I wouldn't have torn my car up. But yeah, the high line I think is the fastest line in the next gen cars at Iowa, as long as you can do it the right way.
Well, Sam, we
But
definitely.
if you get loose, it's over. It's just absolutely over.
We definitely appreciate you coming in and racing these last few races and putting on some shows. You definitely had some speed. I'd definitely be interested to see if you were here all season where you'd end up. But congratulations on bringing home third tonight. Definitely look forward to seeing you again.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me. Great broadcast, by the way, too. Yes, sir.
I appreciate that.
All right.
All right, Chad, this is going to wrap up the season finale here. We're going to take about a month or two break, I guess, or whatever it is. I think October is when they're talking about starting this thing back up for season 3. So we'll go from there and see what happens and who comes in, who leaves. I expect to see a few guys maybe drop out of the series and a couple guys maybe to come into the series. And we'll see who can come away with season 3 champion. Now we've had 2 different champions in season 1 and season 2. Appreciate you always being in the booth with me to bring your expertise as a Larry McReynolds of Velocity Motorsports on the mic. It's been a fun season.
Yeah, I mean, a great season. You know, started off with looking like Nick Gown, Ryan Crooks were just going to walk away with this, and we get a couple others. Nate Mon winning a few different races as well, and sprinkle in a couple other winners this season. And we get to the playoffs, and you know, Nick Gowan unfortunately had to miss due to work. Ryan Crooks, with the big points lead that he had, is able to make it all the way through to the final 4, even though, you know, struggling just a little bit, and a few others getting the win to carry themselves into the final 4. Cole Martin being able to point his way in, and you know, it just led for an amazing overall season. I'm looking forward to what the changes are. I know Tyler B already mentioned some of them going in for next season, what they're going to be, and I'm sure he's going to come out with a full list of what we're going to change. But look forward to hopefully coming back into the booth with you next season, and you know, see if we get a repeat champion or if we get another new champion for Velocity Motorsports. And I think a little bit of news I heard is they're talking about maybe extending the regular season by a handful of races, so give even, you know, more opportunities for guys to get a win. And sounds like the playoffs might be a little different too from what I was reading, but overall a great season, and you know, enjoy being up here in the booth with you. And yeah, next season a few months away, but I'm sure like you said, we'll have comers and goers, but either way, this league is turning out to be one of the better ones that I've been a part of, period.
Well, we definitely look forward to season 3, and we appreciate all the fans and viewers out there that were in the chat and stuff like that. And we'll come back strong in October or so, and hope to see you guys in the chat and viewing these racers try to go for another championship. And definitely appreciate the Tyler B and Tyler T for allowing us to come do the broadcasting, and we'll catch you guys later.